Tambuwal, Governor of Kebbi State, Atiku Bagudu, and the Niger State Governor, Abubakar Bello. The Northern Elders Forum have lamented the recent murder of farmers in Borno State by Boko Haram insurgents, claiming that life has lost value under President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. In a statement by its spokesman, Hakim Baba Ahmed, the forum lamented that the lives of Nigerians no longer have value under the present administration due to the constant attacks and killings of innocent citizens. Hence, they want President Buhari to toe the path of honor and resign for failing to ensure the security of the nation. The Northern leaders also asked President Buhari to resign if he cannot secure the nation and ensure the protection of lives and property of citizens whom he swore to protect, highlighting a thread of threats in the northern parts of the country to include Boko Haram insurgency, banditry, rustling, and kidnapping. The northern leaders said these need immediate intervention and solution. The elders said farming communities have been hampered by bandits and kidnappers, and the prospects of famine are real in the face of limited production of food in many of the communities. Pope Francis has condemned the massacre of farmers in Borno State, which was claimed by Boko Haram insurgents and left at least 76 people dead. He also assured Nigerians of his prayers, remembering those who hill atrocities, which gravely offends his name. The Pope also used his address to mark the 40th anniversary of the death of 4 missionaries who were kidnapped, raped, and killed by a paramilitary group in El Salvador during the Civil War. And on the foreign scene, the United Kingdom has become the first country in the world to approve the Pfizer and BioNTech coronavirus vaccine, paving the way for mass vaccination. Britain's medicines regulator, the MHRA, says the jab, which offers up to 95% protection against COVID-19 illnesses, is safe to be rolled out. Pfizer said the first doses are already on their way to the UK, with 800,000 due in the coming days. Health Secretary Matt Hancock said the NHS will contact people about jabs. Elderly people in care homes and care home staff have been placed on top priority list, followed by over 80s and health and care staff. But because hospitals already have the facilities to store the vaccine at minus 70 degrees centigrade as required, the very first vaccines are likely to take place there for care home staff, NHS staff, and patients. So none of the vaccine is wasted. And that was a news update on Today 95.1 FM. Do not forget, you must take responsibility by washing your hands frequently with soap under running water or using an alcohol-based hand sanitizer while out and about. Avoid touching your face and high-contact surfaces to prevent the spread of coronavirus. To have a great morning. I am Annie Abdul Salam.
Are you ready? Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
Talk radio.
I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Peace is a situation where there is no war or violence in a society. Peace allows wealth to accumulate and the society to advance.
Through peace, generations of wealth, education, technology can build up, thereby making people very prosperous and happy.
Without peace, there will be violence, war, and underdevelopment in our society. The most disadvantageous peace is far better than the most just war. Let us embrace peace for a better society.
This message is brought to you by your premium talk radio, Today 95.1 FM.
It's what I pray for my all around the world. It's what I pray for my
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Health is brought to you by Doctors Save a Life Foundation. You and Your Health with Dr. Richard Okoye.
Hello, what an honor. I call this a spiritual privilege for us to have this time together. You are on You and Your Health, a program sponsored by Doctors Save a Life Foundation, an organization with a clear vision and passion to give total health to our people through the power of knowledge. A lot of things are going wrong with the health of our people today. So many people will just have one challenge. Before you know it, it's complicated. Some of them will go down the grave. And all what we keep talking that is responsible for the death of this beloved one of yours is that it was an attack. It was somebody that poisoned him, or he's somebody that did this or that, or satanic. And the worst still is that the church of God become now a seat of devils and Satan praise, an anathema as it were. The Lord said that my house shall be a house where prayer, a communication of satanic mentality over the lives of our people. I have this opportunity to share this in series. Hear me. I want you to understand that what we are going to get from this program is not just meant for you. Listen to me. Hearing me right now, God has ordained you as a deliverer to your loved ones, deliverer to your family, deliverer to your friends, deliverer to this very nation by reason of what we know that your academic and family and traditional background may not have actually given you that very privilege. Now, we're going to look at this particular subject from the angle of things that cause panic. It's gonna be a series, because these are the things that when it comes to someone, invariably you are bound to panic, you are bound to make certain steps. And do you know what I will tell you right now? Nearly 90 to 100% of people that have gone down the grave because of their health died because of who they met at the point of that particular thing picking up. We all have people we confine to, and when we tell them about our condition, be it health and otherwise, they usually issue an advice. And the same thing is also applicable and even worse still in area of our health, where most people are ignorant, yet they are prescribing, they are advising, they are telling you. And the commonest thing they are telling many of our people that have kept them until they do them part is that Satan, what you are passing through is an attack. Yes, it is an attack because you are ignorant. And the Lord said, my people are destroyed. My people are gone into captivity because they lack knowledge. Very painful that he said that even my honorable men, my men and women of God have gone into the captivity, mental bondage because of ignorance. Now, I would like us to look at this very series. Take this very time of this program, follow it up continually. Now, usually, when you see things like this, whereby somebody suddenly, under normal circumstance, the blood that's supposed to be inside the vessels of the body suddenly start pouring out. And worse is that you see someone suddenly urinating blood. It calls for panic, my dear. You see someone normal, instead of stooling normal stool, he will now, what do we see? Is blood all over the toilet. It calls for panic. You see someone vomit blood, he calls for panic. Or blood coming out from somewhere it ought not to come out. I'm here to tell you, relax. Before you call that devil, relax. He that believeth shall not make haste. You need to know. You need to hear a word behind you. Say, this is the way, and that way is what the wisdom gives. You see, wisdom is profitable to give direction, and wisdom is a product of knowledge. And he said, through knowledge shall the just one be delivered. It's not by making haste on that attack. Hold on. I care not who told you that, but here's something different. From this very series will be on. Yes, it is very common that when you see somebody suddenly collapse, suddenly convulsing, and suddenly lose breathless, panic is there. Yeah, it could be attack. Yes, common in our people. But I will give you later what you could do, even to that one that is convulsing, that very baby that is convulsing. It doesn't need olive oil. It doesn't need crude oil. It doesn't need anything oil on his or her body. Why that baby is convulsing? You need to know. We need to, together by knowledge, deliver our people from the chain of death by reason of all this satanic mentality in our community. It is, of course, if somebody suddenly could not walk again, or walking becomes a problem, not able to work, difficulty, knee, waist, everywhere, pain. It is possible. Yes, somebody must have cast something to you. You must have matched one poison. But can you hold on just a while and listen to me in this series, and you will be able to know exactly what you may not have been told concerning that your health problem. It is not what you think. It is not what your prophet think. It is not in line with that prophecy. It is in line with true knowledge. Shall the just one be delivered? Not the issue of binding and casting out demons and witches that may not have no hand in what you are passing through. You know, it pains me that you see our people seem not to be thinking again. Seem not to be thinking again. The question is, if someone tells you that your problem is one enemy or is the other enemy, you pause. If that is the solution, you fasted and prayed for the same thing that was prophesied, call the name of Jesus, declare fasting and cast everything, yet the problem persisted or even getting worse. Come on, can't you think? Can't you think? Can't you think that all the people they have prophesied to concerning their health, that it is one poison, is one attack, nearly all of them died in the grave? Do you want to join them? Enough of that devil. The Bible says, give no place to the devil. Our God is able to keep us. He said, I will preserve thee from all evil. I'm here to tell you that God can preserve you from that very evil that is supposed not to be a topic in your own life. Now, it is easy. And suddenly when somebody that is not able to urinate, suddenly, one night the man couldn't urinate again. Panic everywhere. It is possible that they may have tied either the womb, they have tied the bronchus, of course, or tied the penny perhaps for the urine not to come out. And you see people married for several years when they have done what they're supposed to have done and the result is not coming. There is a tendency for panic. And you know what happened? I made a study on the number of divorce that are happening across the globe, and I realized that the things that made many women pack out of their homes, made some men pack out of their marital relationship, is not the problem, because there are people that are passing through what worse than what they think they are passing through, yet they are still in marriage. The question or the cause of all of their challenges and the decision they made is who they met at the point that thing was happening. If he meets the right person, he can give the right direction. He meets the wrong person, he will worsen and create a picture that makes it impossible. And that's one of the things I would like us to look into today. I will take this in subject by subject over a period of time. I want you to stay tuned in this program, inform all your loved ones. This is gonna be Operation Panic No More. Relax, for something may be responsible that we may not have known. Stay, I'll be right back.
You and Your Health with Dr. Richard Okoye.
Don't forget that any diagnosis of any disease in this current time, including cancer, is as good as prevention. Go for routine health check for sake of sound health.
You and Your Health with Dr. Richard Okoye.
Welcome back. You are still on You and Your Health. I'm Dr. Richard Okoye, the president of Dr. Civil Life Foundation. I have a passion to share something with respect to our health today. And let us take from one of the things we actually pointed at, the issue of you see someone stolen blood. Is it normal? How can somebody suddenly be stolen blood? Listen to me. There are several causes of several things that can make someone to steal blood. Number one, and the commonest cause of stolen blood, is what is called bile or hemorrhoid. This hemorrhoid is what is an engorgement of the veins around the anus. It can cause painless bleeding. You stool and all of a sudden you see blood roar. That should not cause a panic, because there is a solution to it. Even in the modern time, you can do what is called staple hemorrhoidectomy, almost a painless procedure that can take care of bile, and you go back again for your normal business. Now, in that particular regard, you find out that there are other things apart from bile. The issue of what is called anal fissure. This particular one, you may see a strip of blood in your stool, but it usually comes with a lot of pains, because it usually result when you stool a hard stool. It can also come from a cancer of the rectum, cancer of the colon, cancer of the sigmoid colon, or what is called diverticulum. In addition to other causes that may be more for the resident doctors going for this, when you have the ulcerative colitis, ischemic colitis, and all the rest of dysplasias and all that. But in a common man's term, we are looking at, if you are bleeding, you stool blood. This could come from bile, could come from anal fissure, it could come from rectal cancer or colon cancer. That's why when you stool blood, do not call any devil. At that early time, even rectal polyp that may predispose to cancer can be cured as early as possible. Do you know that rectal or intestinal cancer can be cured if found early? And that's why early diagnosis of any condition, including cancer, is as good as prevention. My friend, I don't want you to panic. Panic no more. Can you be in position to take a step, get to the hospital, and be able to be properly evaluated? Even if it is the worst, when it's found early, it's not going to be what should put you to the grave. This is the much we'll be able to take today. We'll be able to tell you more on what is happening in our society. If God say we can live long, yes we can. But he said true knowledge shall the just one be delivered. Remember, you can reach us in this very program by calling any of this number 070 44 000 138 or 070 44 000 139 or 070 44 000 140. When we continue in this station next time, don't forget that this program runs in this station almost on daily basis. Follow it by this very time. Together we can build a healthy society. We will continue other causes of bleeding, from abnormal bleeding, from vomiting, from non-urination. When I come back, we will be able to also talk about that in our next series. Keep in touch and share whatever you got today to your loved one. God bless you.
.1 FM.
they're saying that the explanation given by the military was not enough to say that he saved up to buy those houses or to buy. Man, let me just quickly get your thoughts here so that we throw that into the opinion poll. I think I have a picture of what Fayose looked like on that day and what he was saying from that caption. It's not just giving him a certificate. We must see the
consequential order must be obeyed first, as to even those who have not attended law class. That place is
this is where it comes.
So why don't we start that first? You have that angle open now. Nothing is holding you from doing that now.
You look at it and make sure and understand that restructuring is what Nigeria needs.
Today's Quest from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. Catch Annie on this frequency, Monday to Friday.
That is absolutely their position. Respect the law. Now the question will be which law?
Today's Quest, a sure way to start your day.
Because he hasn't really done anything here. Yeah, because both parties are contending.
Wake up to today's quest.
Wake up.
All the news and information you need in one go. Get started with the best of sports, lifestyle, analysis, and Annie.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
Can you feel it? Wake up to today's quest with Annie on Today 95.1 FM from 6 to 11 a.m. weekdays. Fantastic.
Twenty-three minutes has gone past 9, and you are still listening to Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. We're moving on now to the opinion poll segment of today's quest. And we'll start off real quickly by checking out one of the stories from the newspaper reviews we heard earlier on. The Sultan of Sokoto, Saad Abubakar-led Jamaatul Nasser Islam has urged the federal government under the President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, to henceforth stop paying lip service to security matters. This was as the Nigerian Governors Forum stated that the military will not be able to cope with the current security challenges in the country. In an apparent reference to the killings of 43 rice farmers by the dreaded Boko Haram insurgents in Borno State, the JNI also said nowhere is safe in the country now. Religious body noted that what Nigerians expected from the government was actions against insecurity and not mere condemnations of attacks. The JNI spoke through its Secretary General, Dr. Khalid Aliu, in a statement issued in Kaduna on Wednesday. The statement was titled Press Release Requiem for Zaba Mari. And I quote, "We nevertheless once again call on the federal government to rise up to its responsibilities and do well beyond the traditional condemnation as lip service on security matters should stop. Nigerians are desperately yearning for concrete actions." End of quote, the JNI said. Specifically, the religious body said Saturday's killings at Zabar Mari village, Jere local government area of over 40 rice farmers by the dreaded Boko Haram insurgents without the intervention of security forces was condemnable. It noted that with wanton killings occasioned by acts of banditry, kidnapping for ransom and other related crimes, Nigerians have been so terrified as nowhere was safe for them. The group also knocked the federal government's nonchalant attitude to sympathize with victims of the attack, noting that a prompt visit to the area will assuage the feelings of the affected communities. The JNI statement read in part, 43 human beings were, as reported by the media, were slaughtered without any intervention by the security forces in the area. The senseless act stands condemned in the strongest terms. Wanton killings, acts of banditry, kidnapping for ransom, high rate of unemployment among the youths, rape, and all forms of terrorism have now become the new trend in our communities. Nigerians have become so much terrified as nowhere is safe. The home, the farms, and the roads. Bandits now rule in many communities. They set rules that must be obeyed. Meanwhile, the United Nations has said stabilizing the developing the troubled northeast Nigeria is not crucial to Nigeria alone, but the entire Sahelian sub-region. The UN, in a statement on Wednesday issued after the visit of its humanitarian coordinator in Nigeria, Edward Kalon, to Zabamari, Borno State, to condole with the families of the farmers killed by Boko Haram on Koshobe rice field, lamented that many farmers were missing and a lot of women abducted by the insurgents. Kalon, in a statement on Wednesday, said, "There is no word to describe how I feel after my visits to the Zabamari communities yesterday. More bodies are being recovered. Farmers have also reported some of the missing women. Farmers have also been reported some of the missing women may have been abducted. I call for these innocent women and girls to be immediately released and for their safe return to their communities." Similarly, the Nigerian Governors Forum chairman and governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, said that the nation's security challenges are beyond the Nigerian military, insisting that the military are overwhelmed and could not single-handedly handle the security challenges. Fayemi noted that the multitude of security situations affecting many parts of the country, including insurgency, banditry, kidnapping, and armed robbery, had overdrawn the military. Speaking in the state capital on Tuesday, he said, "I personally of our military, if were to suggest a coalition that will even include our neighboring countries who are probably more experienced in fighting asymmetrical war, it will not be a loss of our pride as a country." Also, the governor of Bayelsa State, Doye Diri, has described as unconscionable the killing of rice farmers. Diri, in a condolence message to Governor Baba Gana Zulum, said the mindless massacre of defenseless citizens of the state was highly condemnable. He commiserated with the people of Borno over the unfortunate loss of lives, and the governor called on the military and other security agencies to redouble their efforts in order to end the scourge of insecurity that is ravaging that part of the country. In a related development, former governor of Imo State, Senator Rochas Okorocha, has called on the president, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, to immediately retire the serving chiefs. Okorocha said such measure was necessary as a result of the security chiefs' inability to save the lives of about 100 Boko Haram farmers who were gruesomely murdered by the Boko Haram insurgency in the state. He made this call in Lafia, where he paid a condolence visit to Governor Abdullahi Sule and the family of the late Nasarawa State chairman, Philip Shiko, who was killed. He said President Muhammadu Buhari should fire the 7 chiefs who he hired to work for the country. Pandef is also speaking on this. He's declared that Nigeria has lost the fight against terrorism. Speaking in a telephone interview with The Punch, the National Publicity Secretary of the Forum, Mr. Ken Robinson, said that Nigeria, ranking 3rd in Global Terrorism Index, it was obvious that the country had lost the war against Boko Haram and other terrorist groups. Robinson urged Nigerians to disregard the statement by the Nigerian government that Boko Haram had been decimated, adding that the sect was still terrorizing the country. He said a few days ago, the Global Terrorism Index classified Nigeria as the 3rd most terrorized nation in the world after Afghanistan and Iraq, before Syria, Somalia, Yemen, and even Pakistan. This is bizarre and unacceptable. So it is sad. It is not that we're losing the war against Boko Haram. We have lost the war against terrorism. All right. Additionally, a security expert, Dr. Ona Ekomo, has advised Borno State government to hire 10,000 youths into a robust vigilance force to defend the state alongside the military, police, the paramilitary, and the civilian joint task force. Ekomo, who is the president of the Associated Industrial Security and Safety Operators of Nigeria, said hiring 10,000 youths will provide protection for the rural population against incessant terror attacks. So we'll take it from the top, where the JNI says no part of Nigeria is secured. He says Nigerians now live in fear. And they're calling on the federal government to rise up to its responsibilities and do well beyond the traditional condemnation as lip service on security matter. They said Nigerians are desperately yearning for concrete action. That's what the JNI said. So the first thing I want to look at here is how all parts of Nigeria are terribly in a state of, I don't know how to call it now, but when you look at the levels of insecurity that we face here as a country, I would think that it is almost every part of Nigeria that is facing the same issues. Just the other day in Ekiti State, a Chinese man was abducted. The police says he's been released though, and the police said it was because of how they pounded the areas and the kidnappers decided to flee and let the kidnapped person free. But of course, another part of the news is that the Chinese official had to pay 100 million naira to be released. So the issue here is that for some of the kidnappers or some of the issues that has caused insecurity, there is a point where they're profiting. They're making a lot of money out of it. So, I mean, why would they want to at any point stop if you're making this much money from the banditry, from the kidnappers, from the armed robbers to the terrorists and insurgents. There's so much money to be gained from the activities they carry on here. How much effort do we have from the military arm to be able to dissuade this group of people from carrying on? Do they have the wherewithal? The Governors Forum has said the military do not have that. They can't deal with the level of insecurity we're in now. So Emmanuel, I'll start with you there, and then I'll make my rounds.
Well, I think I love people that are frank. Of all the things mentioned there, that of the Nigerian Governors Forum catches my attention, and I think they are being frank there. Because when you keep on looking at the situation, how this insurgency war is going on, the carnage in the Northeast, and of course around the country, what else will you say than the military is overwhelmed? But the military itself will see it as a criticism against them, and they will tell you all their exploits and all that in the bush and the front lines. But the truth remains that if you are not overwhelmed, I'm sure you would have been showing us exactly what happens as countermeasures, counteractions against these insurgents. But for me, I think I go with the Governors Forum. They are overwhelmed. And I think the military also need, in this kind of situation, they need recruitment. They need more people to be recruited into the ranks so that they will be able to shore up all these loopholes wherein perhaps a lack of personnel is causing. But even with the whole number of Nigerians becoming soldiers, if you do not have weapons that can match these insurgents, you can't fight the war and succeed. So I really don't know where the problem is from. Is it from federal authorities that will approve? Are they approving the funds they are releasing as we are talking? Or they've been releasing and they've been procuring weapons, and yet the weapons perhaps are not used effectively, or whichever. What is the problem? Now the GNI is saying that no part of the country is safe. It's the truth. If you look at it, every part is having its own share of this particular carnage, because it might not be the same way in Maiduguri. And then in Zamfara, you have banditry and areas around there. You also have kidnapping. No place seems to be very sedate now. No place. So I don't understand when, for instance, like Lai Mohammed this morning said that Boko Haram has been degraded very well.
Decimated.
No. He said,
when you say degraded, gets decimated.
Yeah. So I begin to, well, you see, you can degrade, but the potency of their actions are still being felt. And when you degrade, and perhaps the degradation has made these people to grow stronger and come up in one piece, and then fighting you the way they are doing, then what kind of degrading is that? So I think what is happening is that the country, everybody should be on President Buhari, because overall he's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. I have always said, when things go right, you see the president receive accolades. And they will not question anything. Nobody will come out and say, no, why are you giving the accolades? Because it went well. Do not also forget that once it goes wrong, you will also be criticized. Because like I said, in my place, they call anybody that is the head of any establishment is a refuse dump. Refuse dump does not select the kind of refuse that should be thrown into it. So the president, who incidentally is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, should bear the criticism and of course the accolade. Here, the president, I really don't know. As Rochas Okorocha is saying, you hired these men. And like I said even yesterday, these men are to render their service to Nigerians. Even you are rendering service to Nigerians, not leading yourself. And so when Garba Shehu is telling me, no, the president indeed is satisfied with the action of the service chiefs, are they to satisfy Nigerians or the president? And as he is satisfied, so he forgets about it. As Rocha said, It is high time he relieve them of their positions. So that because there is no human that God has not given at least an iota of intelligence. Now, if these other people under them, perhaps some of them have become redundant as it were, because they are supposed to have climbed up, but these people continue stay in office, have more or less emasculated them. They are just there. They have some technical know-how that could be brought to bear on this warfare, but nothing. And if you relieve them, you see these people, those that will shine well will shine, and those that won't will also be noticed. But the president himself is satisfied, and so it remains.
Yeah.
I think because of the way the whole thing is going, you find out that that's why calls are coming, even from this one of Northern Elders, resign and all that, which we know is falling on deaf ear, because nobody has taken such a step before in this country. Because this thing didn't work out, I'm resigning. I think what should happen is let the president make his mind over and listen to the people he's leading. And as soon as he does that, rejigs his security architecture, I think it will be better for Nigeria.
All right, we've got your thoughts there. Dr. Opitima, let me move on to you.
Well, if they said the military is overwhelmed, they made themselves to be overwhelmed because the Nigerian military has gone into areas that is not their natural calling. They have taken over the police job in this country. How they went into it, I don't know. You know, if you go to the roads now, they even do what we know that police people do. Go to Bini or a road where the military have a camp on that road. You see the kind of gridlock they cause on that road? All the trailers, all the heavy-duty vehicles that are coming from Lagos to the east must pay certain amount of money and causing hold up. So I see what they are called. Is the military called to go into cyber crime? Is it not what police should do? And they are going into that, making noise that they will deal with those committing cyber crime or use. They allow themselves to be overwhelmed. You know, we are no more making use of the police, the civil defense, and all those ones that should take care of some of these things. The military are even entering into marital issues. So, is it who is overwhelming them? They're overwhelming themselves. It's not they should be focused on the issue of external aggression, like this insurgency. The insurgency in the northern part of the country, the banditry, the kidnapping issue should be left with police people. There should be this line of duty should be clearly segregated, and let know where the police are actually focusing, where the military are actually focusing. But now it is difficult to differentiate. Bulletin makes statements sometimes as if he's the head of the state. Sometimes they make certain statements that really get me running berserk. As if, yes, even during the election, he will issue statement. He is not meant to issue any statement. He's only meant to carry out an order. So, because of the fact that the person who is the president now has given them that impetus, we're in a constitutional democracy. This country now manifests all the features of a failed state. And the president is not coming out to see things for themselves. It's only virtual meetings and virtual commissioning of projects and all those kind of. Yeah, is the country run like that? How can you be in your office and you are commissioning a project in Bayelsa? That's the way country should be. No, is he fearing to contact coronavirus? The other Nigeria should contact, he should not. That if everybody die and you leave, whom are you going to rule over? So there should be a kind of rethinking and the changing of the president mentality and the way of doing things. Yes, people who support him will just call us names. It is not the way a country in 21st century should be run. It's annoying. And there have been consistent call on the president all this while for the rejigging of the security architecture of this nation. He remained adamant. Right. And that remained adamant, I conclude that it's just to secure him and his government, not Nigeria and Nigerians.
Okay.
So now, again, if you changing the security chiefs, it will find it difficult to go to other zones, to go and bring other. And if you now bring them also in the north, there will be a kind of hoopla. People will shout, this same. So it's better for him to retain the people that are already there till he ends his tenure. And the country is suffering. It's really suffering for it.
All right, then. Opetima, we got your thoughts on that. Thank you very much. Opakado Kubo, former chairman, NUJ.
And we cannot run away from the fact that we need state police now, so that we can also free the number of federal police insufficient ones to actually also do the much that they can do. The states, whether 2 or 3 states, if one state can't do it, 2, 3 states can come together, just as they are doing in the Amotekun thing in the West. Let every state be responsible for their own internal security. If there are issues that are coming from external forces, then you can have the military to go and take care of it, even in those states. But to continue the way we are doing in Nigeria and continue to call on the police to do this and to do that with the few men that they have, even the recruiting of, I don't know what they call them, constable level.
Into the police.
It's just not working. It won't work. It won't give us the kind of security that we're talking about. When you say the entire country is insecure, yes, it is. Yes, I'm not sure anybody anywhere in this country will feel safe or feels safe. I used to know the way we used to live in those days. In the villages, nobody bothers to. What? You just have one kind of this thing, and then you cover your door. And there were no doors. People slept in the open. Nothing. Churches were never locked. Nobody locks the door of a church. But today, 5, 6 o'clock, 7, 8 o'clock, there are places you dare not. And this is the country that we're living in. It's so obvious. The other day in the West, the traditional ruler was just killed. And that is where the issue of Amotekun. So, look, we must tinker with our laws such that you allow these people to properly, adequately take care of internal security of the state. And that's the way for me, so that you can free those federal forces to do what they ought to do. We're mixing up these things. So if the Governors Forum feel that, yes, the military is overwhelmed, of course they are overwhelmed. Truth of the matter is that we have come to a point where we can no longer think that Nigeria, as we see today alone, will be able to solve this problem that we have at hand. Sometimes I wonder, stretching my imagination as to what is happening to us, I wonder if there are no external people deliberately tinkering with these issues such that they can continue to sell their arms and a lot of things will continue to happen. I don't know if there's no force outside this country that is actually that wants to take the governorship of this country. I mean, the entire running of this country. Because as long as we continue in this way, we have pushed to seek external help. And the moment you do that with any other country and they come in, of course, you can be sure they'll run your economy. They'll begin to give you terms now to run your country.
No, but I mean, we've seen coalitions. I mean, we've had coalitions before. So
that's
what's wrong with having a coalition?
Within the region, where we can control.
Yeah, within that region, so that maybe the extra military personnel that we drafted, we can send them to other parts of the country that barely needs them.
No, the problem with the issue with this regional thing is that you are the one that's the bigger one of all of them. So you'll be the one to fund. What if you don't have the money? So as long as that one depends on you, then it only depends on your strength. And if your strength is so little, then it can always go as much as you can carry. And I think that's probably the problem with that regional arrangement, because Nigeria is no longer able to muster what is needed to keep it running.
Keep it running.
Now, Zulum is saying, get mercenaries. Well,
we'll get to that point. That's the second part. Let's just concentrate on whether you think the situation is overwhelming and there's no part of Nigeria that is secure now, and whether the military can still deal with the issue as it were, or you think this is absolutely above that.
No, very well. If it's a matter of any part of Nigeria as being secure, no. It's a kind of security that I used to know. There's no part of Nigeria that you can say is
so
secure.
Your thoughts there then. And let's move on now to Andy Apotiva. He's a social reformer, a nation builder, traveler. Bad leadership and also. So, I mean, there's a lot of troubling for you today.
Absolutely. Good morning, Annie.
Good morning, and a belated happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
I have been following the trend.
Thank you. Let's ring the bell.
And I was wondering, are we going to declare this week of festivities? I mean, happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, Annie, I grew up in Lagos.
Mm-hmm.
The first understanding of language that I got was the Yoruba language. And there's a parable in the Yoruba, by the Yoruba people that says that it is folly for one to wear white and carry red oil.
Mm-hmm.
You don't carry red oil
while
wearing
white,
because most definitely you would get stained. You understood that carrying of red oil was such a task that would require something else would require you wearing something else other than wearing white. I've said that to say to us that if we thought that we will bring in, to my mind, incompetence, and we expect that we would use incompetence to achieve competence, then we would be of all men most miserable. By my very calculation, I think that before a person applies for any position, whether in a private organization or in a public firm, there's such a thing that is called the CV that the person submits. And you as the administrator or the one who wants to recruit, you must go through the CV of that person to be sure that the person has got the competencies that are appropriate and adequate for the role that you want to recruit the person for. And if we are able to do this for our private organizations and private concern, I wonder why Nigerians don't focus on these same things when we want to recruit those who would hold the levers that regulate our states, our local government, and our country. We ought to properly scrutinize their CVs to be sure that they have got the competencies that are necessary, adequate, and required to be able to address the problems that we have. But you see, what we do is that we play the ostrich. We take just a nobody, someone without capacity, someone without what is required, the askings of the role that we want, and we put the person there. You would not want to recruit somebody who is a journalist, on-air personality to take this job from you, and you will not ask, what have you done?
Yeah.
Did you do this job here? Did you do this job here? When the current president was holding sway in this country, what happened? You see, even if you are not old enough to know, we should read history to find out that we began seeing series of recessions. There were challenges. We saw how that a president gave out his roles even to his second in command. He abdicated, as it were, his responsibilities even to his second in command. We saw all of these things that time. And you see, the people of the north haven't known all of this, still went and said, oh, the Messiah has come. Let's go vote for him. And across the different states in the north, particularly in the Katsina, Borno, and Zamfara states, we are seeing that they are being ravished on a daily by this deadly terrorist group. Fela says, and I quote, that when the white man wants to deceive you, he introduces BB grammar. What you hear today in Nigeria that we call banditry, what you hear that we call insurgency, is all BB grammar that explains only one thing: insecurity, terrorism. We are failing to call it for what it is. And in medicine, if you're unable to call the disease for what it is, which is making diagnosis, even if you were sent from heaven, you will not be able to treat that condition. If you called it a different name, if a patient presented before you and you're unable to tell that this fever is as a result of inflamed appendix and you call it malaria, what happened is that you will just be giving ACTs, anti-malarials. And guess what? Because the appendix is inflamed, that patient will die. And when that patient dies, it will be your fault because you failed to call it what it is, to make the diagnosis. Therefore, your thinking was redirected in the wrong direction and you couldn't treat. What would you have done if you had called it an inflamed appendix? You understood that this appendix would burst and the patient could die, so you quickly summoned your surgeon to come and intervene. Surgeon will quickly take to the theater, appendix is removed, patient is happy, everybody is happy, everything is fine. But you see, in Nigeria, we do not have that. I want to ask a very deliberate question, Annie.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you say even the problem is because of the fact that we are stretched, what I hear, and I agree, and that's the fault of the government again, that you have less than 500,000 police officers manning the whole of Nigeria with over 200 million people. You have less than the other members of the armed forces. You have less than 700,000 of them manning the whole. This is a problem of the government, I agree. But, Annie, if we know that this terrorism is in Borno State, Zamfara State, and Katsina State, particularly today, what is wrong if a commander-in-chief of the armed forces says, except he can prove to us that we are still fighting internal wars in certain parts of the country, if he can prove to us, I will understand. Or if he can prove to us that we are fighting external wars, that we are fighting Niger, we are fighting Cameroon, or we are fighting America, I will understand. We are not fighting any war, not internal or external, other than this terrorism. So tell all of them that, oh yeah, come, chief of staff, sit here, chief of naval staff, sit here, all of you. We are going to have a 1 week plan with which we are going to use to get into Borno State. All of your men, remove them from wherever they are. You are going to come to Borno State. The flashpoint, even Zulum has explained it to us. Zulum said to us that they are resident in certain places in the Chad and in certain hills that they are resident. That he showed that they are resident there. Lake Chad. Yes. So why don't you get there and say, okay, so 1 week. All of you will go and focus your attention, carry your ass down. Not only ones that you want to come and discuss with somebody in Obigbo, or you want to come to this, you move all your tanks, you move them, and you are coming to quell civilians. You move all let's move all these tanks to Borno State. When we are done with Borno State, fish them out, smoke them out. We then move to Zamfara State. What is banditry? Why are they calling it banditry? We move to Zamfara State and we move to where these men, and I hear now that they even go to markets. Their king said it, this altar, that they even go to market and they say, give me this, the point gun, you give them change. And then we go. Carry the military to that place, then we go to Katsina, where I'm from, as the president. It will be the last theater of war. Move all these people, armed forces. We agree that they are not enough. But one week. Let's use one week to go and smoke out these people. Why are we unable to do this? The answer is resident in what was said about Abacha. They said, and I quote, Abacha says that if there is any terrorism or insurrection in the country that extends above 24 to 48 hours, then it therefore means that the hand of the government is involved. If not, it makes no sense. There is nothing that is plausible. There's nothing that is rational. There's nothing that is logical to my mind about how a commander-in-chief will sit down in his office and after having promised the people that he's going to fight insurrection, he's going to fight. When I come there as a general, I'm going to fight. After he sits there and fighting from the back. And guess what? When I heard about the ordeal, they said they took the people into one room and they were calling them out one after the other and slaughtering them like chicken. If you had chicken, I had been to Akwa Ibom State before, where I went to a joint where they were killing when they were killing dogs. So when as they were eating, they would go in, they'll bring one of the dogs. When they were about killing the second dog, I went to the man and I said, "This is beastly." He was looking at me. I said, "This is beastly." Dogs, so the people sat there and they were watching it. They will hit the heads of the dog with one this thing. Now, this is humans and humans that you were calling one after the other. The story has it that one of the men then, who was a part of the terrorists killing these people, then went in and told the others to run. That's how the other 13 what's it called, escaped. And you have a commander-in-chief that has not declared force majeure. Is that not what I said in the oil and gas sector? Force majeure declared in this country and say everybody, both those of you on the highways, block, all of you, come now. Armed forces, we are declaring war. There is nothing like insurgency. There's nothing like insurrection or banditry. It's terrorism. We are going to smoke them out and call them what they are. They are terrorists. Why is it not able to do that?
Oh, that's a good question. Why? And I guess that's why the JNI says they are tired of the regular lip service where he comes out every now and then and says we condemn the killings and there is no corresponding action. I don't know. I think in the case where you've had one failure over the next, the people at the other end, that's the terrorists, the bandits, the kidnappers, have come to discover what a thriving business this is for them. I mean, I'm just trying to imagine kidnappers that just made 100 million in a couple of days. I mean, the people who work closely with these kidnappers will want to go and form their own rings to somewhere. Maybe your fourth in command to this ring here. And then you just heard that we made 100 million by kidnapping one person. I'm sure you want to break away from that and then form your own, so you're the leader somewhere, so that when you get 100 million, you'll be getting 50 while your boys will share 50. So, I mean, you're just seeing how this is birthing smaller groups and you're having more people because they're seeing how it's profiting them. For Boko Haram, who has continually been there, I mean, I can imagine the kind of funding they're getting. Government has been unable to trace the funding and shut that and close that window. So there's a lot of funding that is coming from them. They're terrorizing the people of these communities, making money from them. I hear in some places they're still collecting taxes from the people, and in some places they're putting roadblocks. So if this is still things that they can do and make funds out of it, what are we talking about? You have the bandits who will go to markets and waylay anybody they want, who will take what they want, who will come in and rustle cattle if they so desire. They're making so much money out of it. Why would they stop? And so if you have a thriving business of crime for this group of people, and you'd have an economy that is continually failing, I mean, the opposite to this life of crime is that come join us here in our poverty. And that means you're not even dealing, if you're not dealing with the issues by creating a prosperous economy so that the life of crime is not so juicy, as it were. You could think, well, I could live a good life and still live it and still live a decent life. But that's not possible. So why not? We'll stay here and make money. If you're not fighting it through building the right blocks to have a thriving economy, you're not even dealing with it by making sure that you're bringing terror upon those who are merchants of terror. So you're not cutting them down and slicing them to size. They live comfortably where they are and dictate how the issues are being done. I mean, in so many cases, I think it was Zamfara State who says, look, I'll continue to negotiate with bandits. Yes. As it is, I don't have any, there's no other alternative. Yes. The alternative I have is to continue to negotiate with them. So, and if the terrorists already know that you must negotiate with, they are coming with the upper hand to the table for discussions. They'll tell you, well, if you want us to stop, maybe this is the number of gold bars. Well, we've got to go. The news update is next. Please stay with us.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM. Every day, every hour. Our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt. News update.
Hello and good morning. Here's the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Annie Abdul Salam. President Muhammadu Buhari has reiterated his resolve to meet stiff measures to any of the discos or agents selling prepaid meters to customers against the directive that they should be distributed free. This is in furtherance of the directive that a total of 6 million manufactured or locally assembled meters be rolled out to electricity consumers to end the agitation against estimated billing. The special advisor to the President on Infrastructure, Ahmed Zakar, who represented the President at the FGN NLC TUC Ad hoc Committee on Electricity Tariff Stakeholders Engagement in Ibadan, Oyo State, said President Buhari understood the citizens' plights on issues surrounding electricity and was determined to deal with bad elements. The Senate has asked Nigerians who are agitating for a brand new constitution in the country to perish the thought, as the National Assembly lacks the powers to do so. Deputy President of the Senate, Ovie Omoagege, said this when he hosted members of the Alliance of Nigerian Patriots led by Ambassador Umunna Orijiako in Abuja. Senator Omoagege, who is the chairman of the Senate Ad hoc Committee on Constitution Review, made the explanation in a statement by his media aide, Yomi Odunuga, in Abuja. The DSP explained that the National Assembly had no powers to replace the current constitution, but it could only amend it. He said the advanced democracies like United States of America, where Nigeria's presidential system of government is fashioned after, also engage in piecemeal amending. The chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum and governor of Ekiti State, Kayode Fayemi, says the country's challenges in this country, the security challenges, I beg your pardon, in the country are beyond the Nigerian military. He said this during his visit to Governor Babagana Zulum of Borno State to condole with the government and the people of Borno over an attack by the Boko Haram insurgents where over 40 farmers were slaughtered. The NGF chairman said soldiers were overwhelmed and needed support to tackle the security situation affecting many parts of the country. Governor also said governors are frustrated with the level of insecurity in the country. Governor Fayemi was accompanied by the governor of Sokoto and the vice chairman of the forum, Aminu Tambuwal, governor of Kebbi State, Atiku Bagudu, and that of Niger State, Abubakar Bello. The Cross River State Commissioner of Police, CP Abdulkadir Jimo, has ordered a restriction in movement of persons and motorists within 5 local government councils where Northern Senatorial State House of Assembly by-election are to hold on Saturday. A statement issued by the police public relations officer Irene Ugbo stated that the restriction covers the periods of 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on the election day, except those on essential duties who must bear identification tags. The statement also noted that the restriction was part of efforts to check criminal activities within the 5 affected local government councils before and on election day. The command enjoined all political stalwarts, contestants, and their followers to play by the rules as enshrined in the Electoral Act 2010 as amended. On the foreign scene, Hong Kong media tycoon and pro-democracy supporter Jimmy Lai has been charged with fraud and detained until a court hearing in April next year. A court today denied Lai bail over a charge relating to the illegal use of his company's premises. This comes a day after 3 prominent pro-democracy activists were jailed. The arrests have raised fears of a renewed crackdown on the city's activists and media figures, driven by a controversial new security law. China has said the new law will return stability to the territory after a year of unrest, but critics say it has silenced dissent. The 73-year-old was arrested last night, along with 2 other senior executives from a media company. And that was the news update on Today 95.1 FM. Do not forget you must take responsibility by washing your hands frequently with soap under running water or using an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your face in high-contact surfaces to prevent coronavirus. To have a great morning, I am Annie Abdul Salam.
Are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Wake up to today's quest.
Wake up.
All the news and information you need in one go. Get started with the best of sports, lifestyle, analysis, and Annie.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
Can you feel it? Wake up to today's quest with Annie on Today 95.1 FM from 6 to 11 a.m. weekdays. Fantastic.
Emeka biko bia.
What is it?
How come Chukudi, that guy Chukudi na? How come he's making more sales than us? And we are in the same line of business.
Relax. Cool down.
Are you sure he's not using something? Ask him so that whatever he uses, we can use it.
I'll do something. I'll meet him.
Ask him now.
I'll meet him. He's my brother. Calm down. What is that thing you are doing? I'm your brother. What is that thing you're doing? Look at your shop now. It's always busy.
Look, my friend, it is very simple. I don't tell you this thing before, but you know
I am willing to go anywhere, any length. Just what is it you are doing? What is the secret?
It is very simple. See, just take your business, okay? Take your business, go to Today.95.1fm for adverts, and you go experience change.
Chukudi, stop this joke now.
I tell you, because now, as we talk so, their rates don't drop.
Chukudi, are you being serious?
I did tell you.
Where this man go, sef? You got Chukudi. Want buy something? You got Chukudi.
Who they collect money? Chief can face you come now.
I come. Emeka, I need to go now. And don't forget though, Today95.1fm. Carry your business, go give them, and you go see change.
Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best.
Chukudi, Dalu, thank you very much.
Biko, be family.
Thank you.
Wow, baby, I love what I'm singing. Let's go have some fun. Me and you together.
You have protection?
No, I don't have protection.
Have you checked the HIV status?
Come on, I don't womanize. I'm a clean guy.
Today, HIV and AIDS is a major global health emergency affecting all regions of the world, causing millions of deaths and sufferings. It is the leading infectious cause of adult death in the world, and about 19 million out of the 35 million people living with HIV globally do not know their HIV status. This has led to delayed treatments, spread of the virus, wrong decisions about their health, and ultimately death. You cannot protect yourself or the health of others if you don't know what to look out for. Be informed about your health and your future. Be responsible about your sex life. Get tested and know your status today. This message is brought to you by Today95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Yesterday, like every other day, I had it all, but now it's all gone.
Today 95.1 FM. The voice of the people.
Officer, give me number. No time. Ma, they match am, they go.
What? You bribing the officer of the law? You under arrest. Let me see your papers. You can go. They're in order. Drive safe, okay?
I don't understand though. No be the same country again. Officer reject bribe. They arrest me yesterday. That yesterday, I go do my papers. See as I pass now. I pass without fear. You too, make you do wetin dey right. For we country to better, it dey for we hand. If you like, do like say you no hear am. To give or to take bribe, na offense.
Una don't hear am, abi? You hear am too, abi? You hear am. You hear am well. They themselves, they hear am. Now the voice of the people. Now him bring this message given now. Today 95.1 FM. Now we be the voice of the people.
All the information information you need to start your day.
Your number one talk radio station. 95.1 FM. Today.
Depend on it.
Be our friends on Facebook on www.facebook.com/today95.1fm.
So I'm on Twitter now.
Twitter. And follow us on Twitter at TodayFM951.
Good listeners make good men and women. Listen to Today 95.1 FM.
I just got it.
Here at Today 95.1, we keep the conversations rolling. Keep it going. We keep it flowing. We keep it.
Guy, don't do that.
Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt. Voice of the people.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
It's 12 minutes after 10. You're listening to Today 95.1 FM. I have a guest here with me, and I'm just going to ask him to introduce himself. Hello, good morning. What's your name?
Yeah, good morning, Annie. Good morning, Port Harcourt. My name is Dubis.
All right, Dubis, good to have you here.
Thank you.
So, what business are you representing?
All right, so this is Wind Forest with Dubis, authorized partner FXTM. That's our company, Wind Forex.
The name of the company is Wind
Forex, powered by Dubis Integrated Services. Then we are authorized partner FXTM.
Okay.
Forex time.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start off first with what does Wind Forex? The name wants to say it all, but I'll still allow you to break it down first.
All right.
What do you guys do?
Okay, so Wind Forex with Dubis, we major on Forex education, training people on how to trade in the financial market entirety, not just only Forex. When we talk about financial market, we talk about the commodity market, the index market, the energy market. We talk about the international stocks. These are the different markets that we actually train people on how to trade in. And we run an academy at 284 Aba Road by Rumukrushi Junction. So as a trader, as people that train people on how to trade, so we need to use a broker to trade. And that's why we are the first authorized partner, FXTM Forex Time. So that is our broker, FXTM Forex Time. Yeah,
All
that's
right.
what Dubis Integrated Services, that's what we measure on.
Okay, so when did you come into existence?
All right, so we have been operating for 5 years plus now. We have been operating from, we were formerly at East West Road before we moved to Rumukrushi by Aba Road. We also have office in Enugu. So we have been operating for more than 5 years now.
All right, then.
Training people on how to trade in the forex market.
So how do you stand out from all other firms and Forex businesses out there?
All right. Now, when you talk about standing out, there are things we've discovered. You know, when everybody's talking about Forex, a lot of people just jump into Forex without actually knowing the nitty-gritty of Forex market. So what makes us to stand out is that we actually show people the simplest way of how to trade profitably in the Forex market. We actually follow the same rule of how the bank and the financial institution, how they trade, because banks and financial institutions has been trading in the forex market, and other financial institutions, they have been trading there for more than 200 years. And you can agree with me that there is no bank that have closed because they lost money in forex markets. But a lot of people, when they come, they hear that you can actually double your money, which is possible, even in a day, even in an hour. Then they will jump into the market without actually following the rules, the set rules. So we actually have come to a point where we follow all the rules because forex market is a business. So what makes us to stand out is that we treat forex like a business, which it is. You can agree with me, Annie, that you can't actually start a business and immediately everything will just be running. You know, there are principles that, guys, any particular business you want to go into, even the Bible even said it, that he said it should invest your money in foreign trade, and he said one of these days you will make a profit. That is to say, it's a process, and it's not just what you jump into and before you know it, you will be relocated to Banana Island, just like some people may feel. And this is what we want to show them on Saturday. because we want to have our last program
For the year.
For the year. So we run an academy, and we normally do every month. We have students that we train. We run a 1-month class and lifetime mentorship. Now on Saturday,
1 month.
Yes, and lifetime mentorship, meaning that if you're not able to learn within 1 month, because there are some people within 2-3 weeks they have learned. Some people that can stay. There are some that are with us for 5 months now. No, so depending on your own capability, if you're able to learn within 1 month, fine. If you're not able to learn, then you continue without additional cost.
Right.
So we run a 1-month class, and this December, on Saturday, being next tomorrow, we are having our final program for the year. And those that want to actually learn in how to trade profitably in the forex market, they can come at the office, because that place is our training center, and that is 284 Aba Road by Rumukurushi Junction. So on Saturday, we'll be having our final program by 10 a.m. for morning session, and then 2 p.m. for afternoon session. We are going to be having 2 sessions. So as many that want to learn how to trade in the forex market, more especially trading profitably, learning how the banks trade, now they need to come. But for them to come, for us to know they are coming, they need to send Win Forex 1 for morning session or Win Forex 2 for afternoon session to these numbers: 080 354 30042. I repeat, send Win Forex 1 for morning session or Win Forex 2 for afternoon session to 080 354 30042. I repeat, 080 354 30042. The second number is 0814 386 0735. 0814 386 0735. The venue is 284 Aba Road by Rumukurushi Junction. That very big techno building. If you are coming from Rumola after Shellgate, then if you are coming from Oyemelaziz, immediately you pass the MTN side coming forward, just that Rumukurushi Junction before Shellgate. You'll see the very big techno building, first floor.
I heard that. Great. So, first of all, who are the people who can participate in this event?
All right, now, okay, those that have been trading in the forex market and they've been losing money, I want them to come. And those that want to see new method how to trade profitably and make money. Now, those that want to invest, because we normally tell people, for you to invest, you need to understand where you are investing your money in. Now, let me tell you the highlight of the event. We want to show people how to, with your $1,000, which is around 400, right now exchange rate is 485. So 485,000 naira. How to build that money to turn it into 127 million naira in 5 years. When I say this, people think that I'm joking, but those that have started already, they are 4 to 5 months into it. If they come tomorrow, we'll show them those that have into 4 to 5 months where they are. Now, the one thing is that people don't know that for you to actually make money, the power of compounding, it cannot be overemphasized. People don't know that there is nothing good that just come, anything that come easy like that, check it very well. Now, if you're able to groom your money, you can actually become a millionaire if you give your money time. Though we have different investment options, our own type of investment, you can withdraw any moment you want. Even the company we are talking, how to grow this money, grow 400 and something thousand into 127 million naira, doesn't mean that we are going to hold the money. No, we will help you to open account with our broker. The money will be deposited in your own trading account, in your own account, investment account, which means you are in charge of your money. You can decide to withdraw it today. You can, anytime you want to withdraw, you withdraw. You are not going to be begging someone to, you want to withdraw, or someone is not going to lock your capital. We only assist you and open the account. That is to say, you will see what is happening on the account. When the profit is made and everything, you can withdraw anytime you want to. The only thing we do here is just to help people, to tell them that you can actually allow this money to run so time like this with the power of compounding, because you're not touching it, because you are the one. It can grow. And if you allow it, right now, we were targeting five years to achieve this feat, but with the result of what we are getting so far, because what we are taking is average of 10% monthly. But right now we are overshooting that, going 20 to 30%. Last month, let me give you our last 3 months result. Last 3 months result was 30% in September, 40% in October, 40% in November. And when they come tomorrow, we show them. I mean 40%. You know what it means if you invest 1 million, 40% of any amount.
485. Because
Yes.
you're saying $1,000.
Yes. So if you did 1 million, you do 40% of it. That you're talking about 400,000 naira. So these are the things we want to show them. As many that want to invest, they can come and then they'll see our own type of investment, which is the best way to do investment. We want to show them the investment opportunity, and those that actually want to learn and trade by themselves, because you can actually do that by yourself, trade, and then whatever profit you make, all the profit is yours. So as many that want to invest, because before when they ask us who and who can come, we normally say everyone, but this time around, and we are not looking for everybody. We are looking for those that actually want to trade forex like a business, and those that want to invest in forex trading. They want to invest their money. And I've already said the average return on investments. I've given them our last 3 months result, which is what we are going to be showing on Saturday, this very Saturday. So just come at 284 Abba Road by Rumukrushi Junction. That is our office and also our training center where we have our Forex Academy. Just text Win Forex 1 for morning session by 10 a.m. or Win Forex 2 for afternoon session by 2 p.m. to these numbers: 080 354 30042. I repeat, 080 354 30042. The second number is 0814 386 0735. 0814 386 0735.
All right. Then. So you're looking for people who, of course, will invest a certain amount. We're looking at $1,000 now. And
even $100.
$100
is the minimum.
No, I'm
yeah.
just trying to say,
okay.
you know, where we're getting to in 5 years.
Okay, yeah, the one of 5 years.
The one for 5
yeah,
years.
yes.
So if you can get up to $1,000, and in 5 years, you're saying you can grow that to 127 million naira.
I can tell you, if we are alive, Christ is not tarry, I will come back to Today FM and tell you that we're able to do that.
I'm thinking Mac of this day.
Yes.
But you said that already with what's ongoing, you're already impressed because you're seeing
we are
ROIs of 40% and
yes,
30%.
Yes.
So this 5 years, if all things tarry, might even be less than 5
yes,
years
it might
before
be,
you get to
it might be, yes,
127
yes,
million naira.
it might be less than 2.5 years.
Fantastic.
With what is happening already, because it has already run for 4 to 5 months now, and we are overshooting the target. That is to say, in less than 5 years, this feat will be achieved.
All right, then.
And a lot of people are already queuing into that.
I mean, you've got the investment option.
Yes.
What are the investment options?
Which I just mentioned. This is one of the investment options, and then we have other investment options where you can invest like $100. Same thing, whatever profit that is made, you see it, because we don't collect your money. We don't collect.
You're
we
handling
don't
your
run
account yourself.
Yes, we don't run a fund management. We allow you, because the only bank that is authorized to run a fund management. What we do is just to open an account for you with the money, just like you move your money from your normal bank account to this forex account, and when you want to withdraw, you withdraw immediately. These are the
so the account is strictly managed by the owner of the account.
Yes, just that he's not the one trading
trading
it, because he doesn't know how to trade. He's connected to a professional trader and
who trades with that amount of money.
Yes,
but in the withdrawal or in the movement of that money,
it is him. It is the
All
owner
right.
of the account that is responsible for his
Fantastic.
account.
So you said there's a 1 month training?
Yes, there's a 1 month training which is commencing after this. This program tomorrow on Saturday is free of charge. It's already paid by our broker. Forex Time is our broker, FXTM. So on Saturday is free of charge, and on Monday also we also going to do another training workshop free also for them to actually see what a little of what they will actually learn within this 1 month. So they come and see the free one on Saturday, and also on Monday they see the free one. If they like and they like what they see, they can actually join. I can tell you, I want to also let them know, like one of my students that started class within 2 weeks, he started within 1 week. He said he wants to go live. I said, sir, no, you need to run this at least for 1 month. He was showing me what he has been making from the demo based on the signal services that we run, because this is another thing we offer. We offer signal services, forex signal services. And what does that mean? It means to show you to tell you when to enter the market and when to exit the market. And what we make as pips, which I cannot explain here because of time, we make average of 5,000 pips and above. Last 2 months, we made 8,000 pips. Last month, we made 5,000 pips. And we'll show them this when they come. So that is to say, in a week, we make nothing less than 1,000 pips and above, meaning that if you're trading with, let's say, one lot size, you'll be making 1,000 pips times $10. If you're using 0.01 lot size, you'll be making $1 per pip. So if you make 1,000 pips, it means that you have made 1,000 times $1, which is $1,000. When they come tomorrow, we show them this. And that story I was telling you, this guy, after asking him to hold on, within 2 weeks, when he pressurized me, I said, okay, you need to undergo the risk management class, because for you to go live, you need to undergo risk management class, which is very, very important. It's a key to making profit and loss in forex markets, the way you manage it. A week of trading, this guy actually made 100%. And he used, of his money, the money he funded. He withdraw. If you put $100, he made $100. Yes, he withdraw part of the money and bought laptop. He said, I want to be seen by effort for 1 week being in our Forex Academy.
Fantastic.
And on Saturday, we'll be showing them this.
Let's share your numbers again. We've got to wrap up on this.
All right. So on Saturday, this very Saturday, 5th of December, come and plan for your next year, because this December, even though it's a period of enjoyment, you need to plan for next year. So come at 284 Aba Road Junction, that very big techno building, 354 30042. I repeat, 080 354 30042. The second number is 0814 386 0735. 0814 386 0735.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. And this is where we wrap up on that segment. We're moving on to our opinion poll on today's question. Touch that dial.
Ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Wake up to today's quest. All the news and information you need in one go. Get started with the best of sports, lifestyle, analysis, and Annie.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
Can you feel it? Wake up to today's quest with Annie on Today 95.1 FM from 6 to 11 a.m. weekdays. Fantastic.
To have you all back. 29 minutes has gone past 10 and you're still listening to Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. Just before we took on that break then, we've been talking on conversations heard by the JNI on insecurity, and they say nowhere is secured in Nigeria. Of course, they were asking that the president do better. You also have in the story, well, no way safe under Buhari, Sultan-led JNI laments. And I quickly would like to take the story where Boko Haram insurgency retired generals and others warn against hiring mercenaries. So that is a story you find in the Punch newspaper. And it says here that some retired generals and socio-political organizations on Wednesday faulted the call for hiring of mercenaries to fight Boko Haram insurgents in the northeast. An ex-chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Joshua Dogonyaro, retired, a former general officer commanding 1 Division, Major General Abiodun Rule, retired, and Corps Commander Amoteco Corps in Osun State Brigadier General Bashir Adewimbi, in a separate interview with The Punch, said Nigerians are capable of defending themselves. Also, social political groups, including the Northern Elders Forum, the Pan-Yoruba Group, Afenifere, and the Coalition of Northern Groups, faulted the call for the hiring of mercenaries. Recall that following the killing of 43 farmers in Koshebe village in Borno State on Saturday, the state governor, Babagana Zulum, appealed to the federal government to hire mercenaries to fight the insurgents. Zulum has received the support of his counterparts, the Northeast governors, and the Senate. Before the president, Major General Muhammadu Buhari's assumption of office, the federal government hired mercenaries to fight insurgents. The Buhari regime, however, dispensed with the services of the mercenaries and assumption of office in April 2015. So that's what we're talking about. Emmanuel, so mercenaries or not, I mean, there's always been an attitude of certain people that we want to have foreign boots on. I mean, we can't tell whether they will abide with the rules or regulations as we have here. So I just want to quickly touch on that as we wrap up on that line of conversation. We'll move on to something else. What do you think about mercenaries?
For me, mercenaries should not be hired because if we are following exactly the meaning of the word mercenary, you'll find out that they are working for money or for pay. And whoever brings in more money...
Are the soldiers not working for pay?
No, they are working for pay, but under government control. These people could decide what happened to them about their services and all that. For instance, if Nigerian government, if after discussion they said they are going to pay you $20 per second or so, and Boko Haram, who I don't know the flow of their own cash seems to be, because that's why they are growing stronger and stronger, even though they degrade them according to them. They could be coming in, infiltrate the civilian population, and then hire a lot of people with a lot of motivation, which perhaps the Nigerian army cannot receive because government is funding their own. So if these mercenaries come, wherever they get money is who they fight for. And again, in the way things work out in Nigeria, I wouldn't know whether mercenaries certainly will thrive here. The first effort they made in Jonathan administration, how far did it go? So for me, it is better they keep the president, when the president is ready, this war of insurgency at least will come lower. It may not fizzle out because of its nature.
So maybe they're asking, be ready by bringing in mercenaries.
See, Annie, I do not support because mercenaries, even in South Africa, where they do a lot of job of such, I don't see a very progressive outlook of it. So if they bring them, they may not work also in Nigeria, especially with our brand of politics.
So your thoughts there. Obitima, what do you think about mercenaries?
Well, it's machinery part of, is it conventional in warfare, for a nation to look towards machinery? Yes, it is. And there's an age-long tradition. It didn't start today. Jonathan administration, we saw it again when the machineries came in. And the leaders in the north are making reference to it. It was also them that sabotaged it. If not, if they have sustained the tempo, I think by now we would have been hearing less of the activities of the terrorists. But Buhari terminated that contract in 2016 when they came in. And the way they push these people, including Buhari, they cry that this is an ethnic cleansing. That fight against Boko Haram is a fight against the North. They sabotage it. Because machinery know that there's a contract and you must deliver before maybe the other party will meet its own obligation. And they have all it takes, the technology, the weaponry, the wherewithal to prosecute the what they have committed themselves to fight. And they go all out. They organize the operations. They organize their accounts. They organize this thing without any side interference. and they go out to do what they are. They bring in their own medicine also to do what they are trained and they have also committed themselves to do. So for this, I'm in support. Because the world we live today is of collaborations. We must collaborate to get results. If we don't want to go that way, and we feel that our military has been overwhelmed, there's fatigue, there's even politics within them, based on ethnic and religion. Now, where are we going to go? There is going to be at a point in this nation that we may enter into street war, which could be worse.
So your thoughts there?
So I am of the view
the missionaries should come
the
in.
missionaries
Thank
should
you,
come in, and they should
Dr.
get it from the right countries,
Thank you very
not China.
much. Opoka, Dokubo, let's get to you now.
Honestly, I don't know how missionaries work. I have no idea, but desperate situations will always call for desperate measures. And as we speak now in Nigeria, we are in desperate times. We have shown it is not just the Governors Forum chairman speaking. We can see it every other day that yes, our own security forces have not been able to match whatever the Boko Haram people are giving to us. It appears our own is just reactionary. When it happens, we'll go there and then we'll go. And nobody appears to be thinking ahead. And we have found ourselves in a situation where people are being slaughtered needlessly every other day. So the call for mercenaries for me is a desperate measure. And also to see that indeed in this country we had tried it once. If not for that measure, I'm not sure there would have been election in certain parts of the country in 2015. Now, within the period, it probably didn't stay long enough for us to build our own capacity. I think that is what the mercenaries will grant you. Within the period they are in and they are doing their business, they are professionals as it were, and they are doing their business, you probably will have the time to begin to build capacity. Because even before now, the government itself had admitted that the kind of warfare that we are into now is not what our own military is used to. And so these are very things that we were not actually prepared for. Then we can think of begin to build capacity within a time frame. And then they probably can go. But you see, like I said, I don't know how they work. Are these mercenaries from a particular country? When we say mercenaries, if you are going to have them, if they are in given countries, if they are tied to countries, then I'll find it hard to say, go and engage mercenaries. Because their loyalty will of course be to their own countries. And that would mean somewhere along the line, there could be conflict of interest.
All right.
You have situations where you have conflict of interest. But then, if they are not, and if they are just groups of people from any kind of this thing, as far as this matter is concerned, they are well averse to it and they know how to face wars like this. Then, well, in all of it, there is no way Nigeria will be safe without the employment of technology in our security arrangements in this country. As long as we continue this human everyday carry gun and go and shoot people, I'm not sure we'll go very far.
All right. Okay. What are your thoughts though, Andy, what do you think?
So, Andy, I'm wondering if the people who are calling for mercenaries to come and help us prosecute this battle, if they indeed understand their call, or their intention is that we should involve other people other countries in persecuting this battle? Because mercenaries or mercenaries are soldiers of fortune. They do not necessarily need to have interest in that battle.
Of course.
Their interest is just to come persecute the battle. You give them the monies and they
move
go.
out.
So what is the challenge with engaging governments like the Israeli government, governments like the German government, governments like the Russian government, governments like the American government, like the British government in the first place that colonized us, and saying to them that, can you people come and help us with this? Like the African countries that were colonized by France.
Negotiations with this is very bureaucratic. We have to go through this, agree to that, and certain times with mercenaries is the money okay?
Okay, so
we cut all that necessary long talk and just get to the business of dealing with the
okay,
issues.
so Annie, Central African Republic and a few other African countries recently had serious terrorism challenge. Yeah, and France came to their rescue because France sees, maybe because of the policy of association and assimilation, sees themselves as, the godfathers of those African countries that they colonized. Don't we have that kind of relationship with America and Britain? If indeed we do have that kind of relationship with them, why are we not exploring the potentials in those relationships of getting these people out? Very recently, we heard under Donald Trump of how Americans, Marines, SEALs came to this country and rescued their own out of the hands of terrorists. These people have the technology. Now, that's the first thing. Then the second thing, are we also admitting that we are failed? That our military do not have the capacity to fix these things? Don't forget, a quick Google search will blow the minds of a lot of Nigerians about how much has been budgeted and actually approved and given to the military since 2012 to buy weaponry, to train their manpower in this recent development regarding insurgency. Several military people have been sent abroad and they have been trained with our monies. They have budgeted billions, and if you do a quick Google search now, your mind will be blown out that we have spent these kinds of amount in dollars to fight this insurgency, and we are saying that we cannot fight it. We need mercenaries to come and pay. Let me tell you, something fundamentally is wrong with our leaders. And every time I come here, I keep telling you this. Yeah. It's either that we have brains, but we have suspended the use of our brains, or the people we have there do not have brains. Truthfully, and recently I'm coming to the conclusion that they do not have brains.
Why?
Because if they really have brains, there are certain things that are reflexes that because you have brain, you will do knee-jerk. They are reflexes. If someone came here, for instance, now, and if I had a son, slapped my son, or did something to my son, and I was there, it would be reflex for me to hold the person's hand. I said, don't do this. Because I've got brain, and the brain is controlling my reflex. So recently, I'm coming to the conclusion, and that they don't have brain, because if they do, indeed, they will see that they are slaughtering their people. If a father that has brain will not see you slap his son or his daughter and let you go scot-free, or see you slap his wife and you go scot-free, how come our leaders are seeing that other people with very sinister, diabolic, evil and dangerous mindset come here to kill our people and they are doing nothing? Indeed, Annie, my conclusion, overwhelming conclusion, is that these people do not have brain. They have concluded to us that our military do not have capacity, and I would have been really very afraid if this was coming from the presidency. We like the word presidency. If it was coming from the presidency, if it was coming from the president, if it was coming from the chief of air staff, naval staff, I would have been really very afraid, because I would ask them, what therefore did you people expend those monies on? Recently, our budgets always would have so much given to security and insecurity as compared to health, as compared to education, as compared to other things that are the etiology, the causation to all of the challenges that we are having. If your people are sufficiently educated, if the people in the north are sufficiently educated, they will understand why they should not allow themselves to easily be recruited into the ranks of Boko Haram. But you have people who are not educated, the vast majority of illiterate, uneducated Nigerians are residents in the north. So why are you not going to have all this insurgency? You have the governors and the president still budgeting money for security, and they are not thinking about attacking the problem for what it is, fixing education, fixing health, fixing these things. You will continuously have insurgency, and you will pay a lot of mercenaries. So they will come here with several interests. As mercenaries recruited, they have several interests. First, their interest is on money. Secondly, they are going to want to milk the system everywhere they go to. What is the resource that is there that we can also take? Because they are soldiers of fortune. And I'm very afraid for this country if we are already thinking about these things. We have already resigned to fate that indeed our armed forces cannot fight this battle.
All right, then. And then as extra... Oh, you want to say something?
Yes,
quickly, go ahead.
like what he
oh,
said.
okay. You...
Like
Sorry,
what,
I didn't notice.
Like what he said about the issue of educating the vast majority of Northerners that are illiterate. I know that is one of the policies Jonathan came with. What is happening to that Amajiri school? You know, it's abandoned. I watched the documentary over AIT. No soul is in those schools. Buhari and the Minister of Education is not even paying attention to those that this thing. And these are legacies that would have maybe in the next 50 years mitigated some of the problems that gave birth to this issue of Boko Haram. But they neglected it. That time, people, yes, I heard of commentaries concerning that school that this is a strategic way to pull out this kind of tendency away from that region in future by mixing the Western education and Islamic education together so that the people who graduate from this school will have better perspective.
Yes, they become aware.
You know, but it has been neglected, pushed and cut off. Even Northern leaders are not, even the emirs and the sultans are not even reminding the president. Are they all happy that that school should not exist? And Nigeria, not even the North, the entire Nigeria will pay hugely concerning it in the negative aspect in future.
All right, you want to say something too?
Yeah. I mean, first and foremost, I think that the Boko Haram itself, I don't want to believe that they have not engaged mercenaries. I think a lot of mercenaries are fighting on the side of Boko Haram as well. On the other hand, when Andy said, you don't know how far these mercenaries will go, if you agree that they are soldiers of fortune, yeah, it's on agreed terms. They just come, prosecute whatever they do, and then they move. But when you engage countries, and as we know that it happened even in Libya, these countries, in the first place, our Nigerian government has openly said they have not been able to get weapons from their own friends, as it were. And this has gone on for a long time. Jonathan regime complained. Now we know this government is also complaining. Why are those countries refusing to help us in this?
We're doing the wrong thing.
Now, when you engage those countries, also when countries get engaged, I don't know the terms, but on what terms will they come? What would they be looking at? Do you have the oil to get it going? For how long? And we know the Libya example is just here. They got into Libya after the war. What happened? They will have to make money and make more than probably what you... Because you won't have the cash, as it were. It's not a matter of the mercenaries where they're asking for your cash, you give them the cash, they do their thing and they are gone. But this one, you are getting into probably long-term this thing, and then they will look at what other things do you have in case this does not happen. And then before you know it, you will tie your entire destiny into... and you get into a colonization that you probably didn't consider it anticipate from the very beginning. So for me, that's the issue with the agreement, running into agreement with countries and all of that. France can afford to do at what cost we probably won't be able to fully know. But if you have the money and they are willing to sell you arms, you can also buy and move. Why are they not selling? Is it that we don't have the money and they don't trust us enough to pay after?
Chief Opaka, the truth is that right now, Nigeria going down is going to affect affect the world.
Oh, yes.
Massively.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the
why are they
world
not helping?
understands today, Americans, the British, they understand today that if they allow this insurgency to proliferate across this country, it's going to finally consume Africa and it will start eating on them. They know that they have an
just
interest.
mentioned how important it is for the whole Sahelian region that we have a stable Nigeria.
Yes,
they
so
just
they
mentioned
know,
it.
they know
Imagine
that they
if
helping
Nigeria
us.
was not stable, the Sahelian region will go into the turmoil. That would definitely affect Africa as a continent.
So if they know this, they have just told us what it will be.
I could tell you why. I could tell you why. We are they're not helping us. We do not have leaders who are able to strike the deals. See, let me say something to you. If you wanted the international community to come help you do certain things, for instance, you're an NGO, they would give you certain ABCs. You know, A, you should do this, B, you do this, C, you do this. If you did those things and presented them with the fact, they will give you
Which is
donor
why I was
support.
telling you that is why perhaps government just feels it's easier to go with the mercenaries. I mean, there's too much bureaucracy when it comes to dealing with certain governments and why they must come into our land to deal with our issues.
Yes.
So because we can't do certain things that they may. And remember, it's not as if all countries who want to help you will come with roses. Some of them are coming with hidden agenda too.
Yes.
So okay, we'll do this for you, but you give us this. But if a government is unwilling to sacrifice that, so the mercenaries are the easy things to go to. We'll pay you, you do the job, and you get out.
Yes, and the mercenaries, because you don't have these very stringent regulations, can come into your system and even build something that is different. But if the international community releases certain people from the UN to go and prosecute certain battle, they would comply with the document.
They say
totally.
They're saying UN that send its soldiers into places like Kenya. There's still issues on war crimes that they perpetrated that are still being discussed. It's not as if the UN, when it does send its own foot soldiers to these areas, that they are saying so.
Yes, but they are better. If we compared it, if we saw the alternative, what mercenaries could have done, you would shudder at what they could have done indeed.
These countries, one, they appraise our foreign policy. What is our foreign policy? Our foreign policy is not favorable to the West. And our foreign policy, in fact, foreign policies are couched in a way that should bring, one, prosperity to the citizens of a country. One, the protection of citizens of a country. Two, to show respect. One, to the hegemons. Our foreign policy today is very porous. It lacks voice. And who controls the UN? The UN is controlled by the West, led by US. And that is why there are certain things you must do to win their confidence, for them to have trust in you.
Absolutely.
And partner with you.
Yes.
And in the absence of that, they'll be watching. They know that, yes, whatever that happens to Nigeria will snowball to other African countries.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And it would result to debilitating economic consequences for the whole of Africa, and which may also affect the economy of the West.
Absolutely.
Now, what is the thinkers in the foreign policy, in the foreign ministry? What are they doing? This is the time.
They are rather killing people at Lekki Toll Gate.
Yes.
They are rather doing those things that will make the international community not to even sell arms for you.
This is the time, even if to set up a technical committee to reframe our foreign policy frameworks and now engage the West.
We are inside the desperate situation.
Even if it's stupid to conquer, these people, when they are now hearing that they want to bring in China, China must colonize. It's like when they say the Chinese man will
this
pay
China something seems it's the only you that know this China thing. I tried to check everywhere for it. Nowhere. The only thing I saw with China is on petrol.
Please.
That Nigeria was going to start getting petrol from China.
We are going into collaboration more with Niger than with China. More with Niger than with China.
Even this 100 million Chinese man paid to kidnappers, China will get it from Nigeria.
I don't care how that happens, but you can't keep dragging China. That China is the one they're dealing with for mercenaries or to fight Boko Haram. That is not anywhere else.
Israel,
Don't let you that is bringing that up.
Israel, US, and all those. These are countries we have known that have engaged terrorists over time. And these are the people who also we know that have that needed experience and technology to target this. Why not we stoop to conquer?
Yes, and wipe them out.
Well, yeah, stoop to conquer. Move into US.
If we decide not to take them, we take Niger.
We have been breeding
and we
are
collecting with Niger and Chad and Cameroon. So what if we decide those are the people who are going to use? Who said no?
We have been taking. We want to go and take refined products from Niger.
Bottom line is that I think everybody's concerned in the fact that we check this insurgency and all its attendant. Because I mean, for me, the banditry and everything else that has to do with banditry is just a spillage from the terrorism that's ongoing in that region.
That is it. You see, the issue Obidima is talking about foreign policy. You see, listen to what Opaka said. Desperate times requires desperate measures. You see, in wartime, you don't go to the nitty-gritty of the arrangement or the policies you have. Now, there could be engagement with the West, as we are talking about. But the problem is, even the West, where they have fought terrorism, how far have they gone? How successful have they been? The truth is that
ISIS has almost been obliterated.
Except in Syria.
Yes.
Except in Syria.
Yes.
And we saw that in Syria, it was because of the Syrian forces and the collaboration from Russia.
Russia, absolutely. Because it was a concert.
America.
No, I agree with you because the world collaborated. They did it in concert. When you saw Russia and America,
and when Russia and America was chasing to a point, there was a point Turkey too came in place.
Yes,
and helped chase them back.
Absolutely.
So they're also looking at your border country.
The problem is our leadership in this country.
Speaking of a report of the president, a presidential spate of massacres in the country, Ezekwesili, who is also a co-convener of the Bring Back Our Girls advocacy group, lamented the frequency at which citizens are being killed without any form of prevention by the security establishment that Buhari supervises as commander-in-chief. She also lamented the government's failure to prosecute perpetrators of heinous murders, saying that the entire shortcomings raise questions on whether he's still able to discharge the powers and duties in his office. And she says, and I quote, Buhari's failure to decisively tackle the persistent killing of Nigerians has further emboldened prejudicial and terrorist activities within the Nigerian territory, thereby necessitating my call, end of quote, and join citizens to collectively demand a credible independent medical panel to investigate and disclose the state of the president's physical and mental health to Nigerians in order to determine his fitness to continue to office. According to the United Nations, about 110 farmers and fishermen were killed in Zabamari. So she says, look, we need to know his mental state because we don't understand these things anymore. There are too many deaths and we don't see corresponding action. And the corresponding action needs to be necessitated by the commander-in-chief. So, commander-in-chief, we need to know if everything is okay up there.
Well, I think I'll be some point. You know, if reached a zenith wherein you don't know exactly what to say, then you see that particular psychological angle. Please let us see whether from this health journey as they're taken to UK and all that, we'll be able to find what could lead us. Because I have personally imagined how a commander-in-chief that is the coordinator of everything will stay anytime anything happens. We regret how persons have been massacred.
From every time.
The regret is allowed. I mean, you must regret.
No, see.
It's the action you take after you regret.
No, that's what I'm saying. When you regret, and there is no commensurate action. Why is it that you only regret and you don't fail in the regret? Every time you regret. See, like I'm saying, it's bad leadership. If our leaders stand up today and say, no, these things could happen this way, whether we have foreign policy that deals with them or not, on that advocacy place here, we can arrange something with them. But the people seem not to be interested in whatever that will be the benefit of the people they are leading. Yeah. And as Obi is saying, who says there may not be something, a clue as to what is happening? Because when somebody is not healthy, there's nothing that person can even, he can function. And so it is good. But will they avail her of that opportunity?
Dr. Obitima says, well, not her. She's asked all Nigerians to join in that clamor. So
And,
maybe the more the voices, the more...
Yes, I lend my voice to that voice. This because I was thinking a lot. How can I've seen presidents in this country when they're in office, even in America, even in France, in Germany.
All right, we don't have much
when
now,
they are in office, I don't see them add flesh, but our president add flesh. You know, he gets fatter every day.
There's nothing wrong with adding flesh now. It's the food that they're eating.
But it is when they're out of office that we see them getting robust because the weight of the problem they're carrying.
So you have a problem with him looking chubbier?
Yes, I have a problem. When we are in the work
so is that why he said he should get his hair? He should get his medical examination.
This man should be
on a lighter note. I'm saying on a lighter note.
This man should be.
I want to be sure whether he's lighter or because I can't tell.
This man should be mentally examined, physically examined, and he should be spiritually examined also. Because we're not getting right with him at all.
Okay, what do you think about Ezekwesili's call that we should have an independent medical team that will examine the president to make sure that everything is okay?
Honestly, the office of presidency is a very huge one, though.
It is.
That requires somebody who is mentally, physically sound to be able to look at every other thing that they are put before you. You have people who will go there, but we have seen a president who is always quiet. You probably would never see him. You would never hear him until the next day. Maybe the time you hear him, he comes with a paper and he's reading. And that of the House of Reps have said he has agreed to appear before them.
With a paper to read.
I doubt if he will not come there with a paper to read. What we see in other climes, you go there and then you are made to stand through these rigors. But here we have a House of Assembly that is already, or a legislature that is already feeling for him. He's president, and there is no timeline to all of this. And the war is raging. It's not waiting for you. The people there are still working and prepared to keep. Who knows what will happen by the end of today? What will we hear? And Rep says no, we can't put a timeline to it. And there is even no threat of any consequence in case you come and you don't. Nothing. So we're still pampering the situation. It appears we are not so. As a people, we are not hungry yet. These things have not touched us. It has not touched our skin.
Okay, Andy,
yes, Annie, I'm going to come to your zone, your territory, journalists and on-air personalities. I think that we are not putting sufficient fire in the, I don't want to use that word, in the whatever of our leaders to be able to understand that they are answerable to the people. See what CNN did to Donald Trump. You know, very recently, 2 days ago, I was playing back everything that CNN did. From day one, they just drew the line. Donald J. Trump or Donald Trump, we are going to finish you. And they started from day one.
No, they didn't start and say we're going to finish
you. No, because that was how it seemed. That was how it seemed. Yes, we're going to finish you. So they were controlling the narrative in America. Every second, if Donald Trump said this, they went as far back as 20 years ago, brought something to come and play and all that. If I had a voice that, was as strong as Obi Ezekwesili, I would have called for this long ago. And since I've been coming to this radio station, I know that you are in charge. And I want to ask a simple question. If every time I came here, the ACs were turned off and the whole place was hot, and I found rodents, on this desk and everywhere, do you not think that I will call your whatever to question him? To say that, indeed, Annie does not have what it takes to be able to manage a space. And if you dress well every day and you sit here and you see rodents everywhere in this place and you are still able to do this show, then I will question your
mental state.
Mental state, because something must be fundamentally wrong. This exactly is the challenge that we are having in this country. The killings have become too much. Nigeria has become a blood field.
And in the very next second, you will hear Garba Shehu say they did not obtain clearance to go to the farm. Jesus Christ. All of the news houses should have taken that man down. That's why I'm coming to Annie's territory. They did not obtain what? Excuse me. I need to obtain clearance to go sleep with my wife. I need to obtain clearance to go do business in my office. In a country that I am not a foreigner. A country where I'm a bona fide citizen. You are telling me to obtain clearance. Okay, if you knew that that place was bad, why did you not go put security there ahead of me? That's why you are there now. The constitution says that the primary purpose of government shall be the welfare and the security of the people, not for them to come and obtain clearance. And Garba Shehu says this in this country. Journalists are not driving that conversation. I've been annoyed since I heard that thing. All the radio stations to insult Nigerians in that manner, to say that we need to go and obtain clearance, we need to go and obtain permission when we do not hold the levers of security. You are the one in charge. You control the military, you control everything. I should come and obtain clearance from you. Journalists have done, they should drive conversation like CNN drove the conversation until they removed Donald Trump. Journalists in Nigeria should drive the conversation. And I thank you, Annie, for bringing this out today, that Nigerians indeed need to continuously call for external medical examination.
And you didn't bring it out. Eze Kwesili brought it out.
Yes, Eze Kwesili. But you mentioned it.
Yeah, I brought the story up.
Yes, you mentioned it. You could have left it.
We'll give her a couple.
Yes, we'll give her. If the president goes to the House of Assembly right now, the National House of Assembly, that's the House of Rep, and does not read from the script, I am saying here that, Annie, you mention anything, whatever you mention.
I already know what I want.
Everything. I am sure that he's going to go there with a script. He will finish reading the script. They will clap for him and say the
okay, hold on. Let me ask a question here. Let me know the terms upon which I'm collecting from you. So if the president goes with the script, he reads the script, and he still does one-on-one asking questions with the. Do I still get this thing that I need from you?
Yes, if he answers, but I can assure you that the president is not going to answer anything. Nobody will, that will not happen. They will clap for him as usual. It's not a problem.
That will not happen.
I was going for now, so you better go there.
In fact,
and tell them that you're not going to read from him.
Except she wants on him because she's got many powers.
Anyway, my powers are limited to today as well.
Andy, I think
and the morning show.
I think you're not just fair to.
No, I think that for a long time Nigerians are a bit bewildered as to the state of health of the president, and it's no mystery. I mean, in the first 2 years of his administration, he did a lot of trips outside the country for one ailment or the other. So we already knew that, but yes, there was something wrong. At that point, I know there were questions as to what really was he going for. I mean, why is he traveling here? What are his health challenges? That never came up. They said it was his priority and prerogative. If he decided to divulge, he will. If he doesn't, all we should be happy with is he has gone in his back. So I can understand the need to query his health now, if for a long time we haven't seen him take this battle from the front, because that was part of what he did say he would do when he wanted to be president. He said, I would lead the battle from the front. We have not seen that happen now. So for people like Eze Kwesili, I can understand why they need to say, look, we need to check the president medically to ascertain that he understands his environment, he's in sound understanding of what he's doing, and then maybe we can now start querying him as to the battle in the front or what's happening. Why are you doing this from the back? Because obviously the only person we hear on these terms now is Garba Shehu. Garba Shehu is the one that tweets. Garba Shehu is the one that goes on social media. He's the one that has gone to certain stations, media houses, and has said something. He hasn't been the president. I mean, I haven't heard the president's voice per se say, I'm sorry, or this about this issues that's happened. Well, I didn't listen to the proceedings in the FEC meeting. Maybe they will have done a minute or two silence, as is their style these days. I don't know. That's what I said. I didn't see the proceedings there. I didn't get to watch it. If at all, it's virtual, but that doesn't mean they won't still do the 1 or 2 minute silence if they needed to. And we have seen the president of recent do a lot of all these virtual commissioning of projects. Even the FEC meetings are virtually held mostly these days. Of course, Corona set in. He's at the age where they find him very, in a very precarious state. So let's manage it as much as we can. So I can understand that. But for a lot of us as Nigerians, we also want to understand, while we want to make sure that you're safe and you do not catch the COVID-19, we want to make sure that even the decisions you're making for the rest of us, you're doing that from a point where you understand what's going on here within Nigeria and that you're delivering in your best judgments the right things that need to be done. So for Esther Kwesili, I guess in her own terms, she's right. For others who might be also pursuing that agenda too, they have every right to make that demand. It depends on what comes up from the presidency. Will they assent to that? I doubt. I really doubt. But then it's 11 minutes after 11. Let's get your thoughts now on the show. You can call in and let's find your opinion on any of 0810-951-0951 or 0817-000951. You can also call in 07019339962. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
Yes, I'm my brothers in the studio. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Obina. I'm calling from Tibet.
All right, Obina, go ahead.
Yes, I want to ask if in the issue of our foreign policy, and I know that we need to say that terrorism is a global issue. Why is it that our foreign neighbors are watching Nigerians? They want to see us, all of us, die before they will come to us. I don't understand. So I want to use this opportunity. If countries like America, France, Germany, United Kingdom, if they are not willing to help us, can't African countries, the tendency, African Union, can't they come together and fight the war that is within their area? Can they come together? Because if it is here in Nigeria today, tomorrow it will be in another African country. The next one it will be in another African country. So I want to appeal that African countries, African neighbors, should put up resources together and look at this war as war that is affecting their own together. I wonder why. Because for a very long time I've been hearing that America has been giving financial everything. They should say they sold some war materials to us. And we are not seeing them. What is happening?
All right. Okay. All right. We got your thoughts there. Thank you very much. This text message is from Oginye Fidelis. He said, hi, Annie and the guests in the house. I'm a good listener on your radio platform. I listen to you almost every day. In a first time in my life, since I was born, I heard from you that the federal government captured my local government in my community. First in history, Yala local government, which communities are Okuku, Gabu, and Alifokwa, has been forgotten for many years, 38 years. No government programs or presence since I was born, and now that I'm 38 years. Annie, I urge you and your guests to go to Gabu and Alifokwa. You would never come back again because we produce a lot of food. There are yams, gari, soup items you can think of. We have great men who represent us in the state and federal levels. The likes of Senator Greg Ngaji, late Senator Rose Oko, and present House member Madam Regina Oko are from Gabu. All to no avail, fails them. Annie, Yala local government is a forgotten local government in absence of federal government. Please, Annie, let your guests be calling my village name every day so that God can remember us. All right.
We are mercenaries.
Oh, okay. You've heard from the chief mercenary in here. You should negotiate with him how much you will pay. Annie, I totally agree with the Northern elders. Buhari should resign immediately. The oath Buhari swore is meaningless because the oath is not working. Boko boys have taken over major checkpoints in the northeast, collected daily tickets from motorists to buy more arms and equipment to kill innocent Nigerians, and the federal government is pretending as if they're not seeing them. Mr. President is busy condemning the killings without any solution. Shame to this administration, shame to APC. And those who voted Buhari, no, you can't say shame to those that voted there because it's not as if they saw. Maybe they didn't read the writings that some people say they read. Maybe they didn't, and they have a right to say we didn't see it the way you saw it. And if they, for those who still believe that, look, the government of the day might fail in certain areas, but it doesn't mean they're not winning in certain areas. You'll just have to give them a listening ear to and listen to what they believe are certain wins for them. So they will be helpless. And when they do, it will be sabotaged by the same military too. I speak as a security expert. This is from Wealth Commander. That's Wealth Commander Clinton. Good morning, all. It's unfortunate that whenever Lai Mohammed says Boko Haram has been degraded, the next moment Boko Haram will be upgraded with the lives of Nigerians. In all of this, I want to urge Buhari not to bother with the cries of Nigerians to deal with Boko Haram. He should be satisfied with the incompetent service chiefs and continue to give them marching orders. Terrorism, especially bandits and Fulani headsmen, and threats to his presidency. What is a threat to his presidency is NSAS protesters. Let him arrest and tag NSAS protesters as terrorists and send the army to have them killed. Let him go dining and whining with the best food supplements, wines, and with a toothpick in his mouth and look fresh. Only over Awaji fine face for Ungo Town. I sense a sense of jealousy here. It's very much like the one Obidima had. That you people are not happy that this president is looking chubby. That's what I sense from Uyowaji. Maybe you and Obidima should have a conversation on why you don't want to see the president looking chubby. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Annie.
Good morning. What's your name?
I'm Jobes, calling from my state.
All right, go ahead.
You see, not only the Boko Haram issue we have in this country, there are many ugly heads that is coming, many ugly heads. But where we supposed to be scratching this time is to get this our leaders involved. If their children are dying, if their own persons are dying, all of them will sit up. All of them will sit up. This is that it is not affecting them. With the fat jumbo salary we are giving them, I don't know what they are working for. With the to go and they take care of the inside jet, we take billion. What did that jet do? Is it only going to outside the country?
All right.
So let's just see what we have. As soon as their own persons start to die, you will see they will all stop. But the time we come,
their own persons are already been slaughtered. I don't know how else you want that to affect them. Good morning, Annie. Hello.
Yeah, this is Pastor Isaiah George.
Yeah, good morning. Good to have you. Go ahead. Good to have you. Go ahead.
Good morning. You see, we live in a country where whenever the army records success in their fight against the insurgents, you cannot hear any Nigerians commend them. Rather, they will be picking holes and then to be asking them to show either pictures of how and where it happened and all of that. So it means that Nigerians, the tiny Nigerians who are busy to see the downfall of this government, is only being happy whenever they hear that the Boko Haram is degraded, they are not happy. But when they hear that the Boko Haram has strike and has succeeded their target and their aim, then that is what gives them joy. That is the problem. You can see the kind of country we are. You expect that maybe the person who you feel to take over as the next president, when he comes in, everything will be okay and fine. My sister, see, when you feel that you are in a glass house, then stone is very good for you to throw. Forgetting that tomorrow you can come down and somebody else can take over the glass house. Why you either go to Basha or you go and look for somewhere that you never expected. See, we should all join hands, all hands on deck to make sure we boost the morals of the army and of the current government to continue in their fight and not to be looking on how to see whenever we are only interested in the 40 areas so that we can call names and then begin to lambast.
Sorry, thank you very much. We got your thoughts there. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
Anne and everybody in the studio, good morning.
Good morning.
From Owerri.
Emeka from Owerri, go ahead.
Yes, and I'm shocked when some of us are calling for countries, UK, France, to come and help us. If they used to say we are a sovereign nation, they should not interfere in our issue. When they correct Nigeria president or Nigeria government to do things, politicians will tell you we are a sovereign nation. We don't need you. You don't need to tell us what to do. Now we are calling on them to come and help us. They decided to leave us. Let us continue to fight the fight. You know, if you watch new trend now, the latest trend now, the calling for the this fight now is coming from the Northerners. Either they call them Northerners, or they call them Northern leaders, or they call them Arewa, or they call them whatever name. The call is that coming from somebody say when they do that, they go to they will not praise them. Is it gross? Well, let me tell you, Anthony, what is happening in North? Over 70, you have not reported up to 50%. A lot is going on there that these children, they don't want Nigeria, other words to hear. But it's gotten out of hand now. The elders, the leader, everything on the pages of newspaper. The elders calling, Satan, all of them are calling. And the people you are calling now, were the people you are talking to, saying you are a sovereign nation. They should not interfere with your nation. This. Why are we going front and back and forth? What would they do to fight it? Okay, has anybody asked these people, what do you want? Boko Haram, what is your problem? Has there anybody even...
I think, you know the problems already. They've said that they think that Western education is not for them, and they would love to see the entrenchment of their own specific interpretation of Islam.
That is because their own caliphate. Why can Nigeria think along that line? Even then, their own caliphate, even them whatever they want. Why can't you think along that line?
Okay.
Do this together by fire, by force? Is it by force?
Yeah, because there are so many people who live in Borno State who don't want that. There's so many people in Yobe who don't want that. So many people in Zamfara who don't want that. So you can't say that they should go and live with these sort of people because, well, the rest of you don't want to be part of that conversation.
When did you carry out this year? Now, when did you go to that place and ask those of them to say their position? Just like when they type up, say...
I've just told you now. It's just the same way too with IPOB, that there are lots of Igbo people who don't want to be part of the agenda that IPOB is pursuing.
Majority of people are tired of Nigeria.
Does it mean, whether you're tired or not, doesn't mean that you would rather cohabit with terrorists? Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning. Hello. Yes, good morning. What's your name?
Yes, Annie. This is Eji calling from Port Harcourt.
Eji, good to have you. Go ahead.
Yes, I want to look the position of obvious question.
Go ahead.
On Mr. President. Well, for me, I would say nothing is wrong with Mr. President. Mr. President, nothing is wrong, whether mentally or otherwise. Mr. President is okay in terms of reasoning and also aware of what is going on in this country. We have those who claim to know Mr. President all this while. I fail to speak the truth. Because it's only the truth that can set us free. We know who Buhari is since he was a military man till today. He has been an advocate of what? Sharia. So, Mr. President's position in what is going on today is clearly stated that he is aware and he will never step down or stop in those agitation of Sharia. That Sharia in this country must be implemented. And the whole transit in 2011, when he was campaigning with Jonathan, that baboons and monkeys will soak in blood, attack on not Boko Haram, attack on the north. All those utterances, Buhari should have been in jail by now, not even a president. But we are playing around, both those who know, those who don't know. They don't want to speak the truth. It will run this country down. That's my position. It will run this country
All right,
down.
we got your position. Thank you very much. Good morning, Annie and the guests. Annie, if anyone says our military can't defeat Boko Haram, it's sheer fallacy. Our military is well equipped and sophisticated to bring this insurgency to an end. But let's tell ourselves the truth. Politics is like the hand of Esau in the issue. Mercenaries wouldn't be the solution either, because these same politicians will pay their paymasters and dictate their operations and control. Even the international organization will be seen, which would have been the best, wouldn't be allowed because they will dig out more than what they will see. Mr. President's health is truly an issue and should be made public. Hackett Davis from Tombia Kingdom, you sent that in. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning. Hello?
Madam Annie, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Okay, my name is Mr. Cox. I'm calling from Port Harcourt. Chai, Mr. Annie, this one I'm very, very happy. I'm the happiest person in the whole world. I'm telling you, all over the world. I greet all your guests in the studio. God will bless all of them. Because I don't have another thing to say. I speak my mind. God will bless from Ogema to Andy, everybody there. God will bless all of them. I speak my mind.
All right,
God
then.
bless them.
Thank you
God
very much.
bless you.
All right, thank you. God bless you too, caller. We now discuss and on newspaper headlines every day that Nigeria now has 4 tiers of government and none is as effective as the last one, the fourth one. He says the first one is the federal government, the second is the state government, the third is the local government, and the fourth is the bandit government. Michael Newmold sent that. Annie, I'm worried about the insurgencies coupled with the protected COVID will destroy Nigeria finally. Annie, if you send £20 from here now, everyone will be praising you after the exchange in Nigeria. But I know they can't use it for anything meaningful due to hyperinflation. Joe, you say you're sending this from London. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning. Hello.
Hello, Annie.
Yes, good morning, ID.
Good morning. I'm going on to the guest. Annie, there's a question I want to ask before we now begin to pray for missionaries that will come and help us. 1 billion naira was collected from the SS group.
$1 billion.
$1 billion. What have they used that money for?
To aircraft.
Can this administration give account of that money? Now Mohammed is telling us that they want to buy foreigner militias. They should go and ask Jonathan, what does he use towards the tail end of his administration for 6 months? Who battled Boko Haram and make sure that Borno State election was conducted in that place? They should go and ask the magic one. See, these are the people who told us that they had the magic one in security. And they politicize security.
Okay.
Today, the something is with you now. What can you do? Chibok girls was abducted. The only thing that has been to stand in the best podium to tell Nigerians that it's time to be the campaigners for bring back our kids are because they belong to the party. That was what I just said.
Right,
today, the security situation is getting out of hand. Please.
Okay.
Please,
Okay.
the Northern elders.
All right.
Spoke well.
Okay. We got your thoughts there. I did. Thank you very much. Amazing. Please, the Northern elders, they spoke well. We got you. All right, then. We're going to have to take this point. I'll have to take this break from here and then move on to text messages. Good morning, Annie. And analyst in the studio. My comment goes to Pastor Isaiah. I've seen he's an APC apologist and we don't reply callers and text messages. Thank you. Dave, Annie, you brought Jonathan apologists to come. The same people who were here defending Jonathan when Boko Haram was hoisting their flag in over 20 local governments. And have we forgotten that before PMB, we can't even celebrate Salah in Borno? We forget that Boko Haram was operating in 15 states before PMB. Now they're sporadically operating in 3 states. Tell Andy we know him. Talk is cheap. Good day, Annie. I don't know what you're saying. Shad put in war ages. Nope, I don't know what you're saying, Chima. Buhari, how many times now? Please listen to your kinsmen and resign, just as you advised Gage to resign during his tenure. Please, you're incompetent and has really caused Nigeria a huge setback. The financial insecurity is at its peak. I beg, leave. This is from James. Miss Annie, thank you very much for bringing vibrant and unbiased analysts today. I'm addicted to today's quest. Ozichi from Rumewara. Thank you. Please stay addicted. Annie, the way the president is acting will make one to believe this IPOB cloning and Sudanese story. This is from Kings. Good morning to you all. I'm a Berry engineer from Port Harcourt. Let the truth be told. Once we invite mercenaries, they will turn the insecurity into a business affair. They're after the money, but if we change army chiefs, it will help us a lot by boosting the soldiers' morale. Good morning, Annie. No doubt journalists and OAPs nationwide have joined the charade of disquiet when they ought to speak up. Time will tell when that voice will become voiceless. According to Dino Melaye, you speak, you die. You don't speak, you'll still die. Time to speak is now. Why fear? The voiceless majority count on you. This is from Mac. Mac, you didn't answer any of the issues. Yeah, attacking journalists and OAPs. Congratulations. That's what you used your time to do. You swallowed your own voice in the issues that needed to be talked about. Nigerians are in this situation because there is a rumor that the man at Aso is not the original man that Nigerians voted for. That's why he's always with the script writing for him to read. Why are Nigerians like this? So because he's reading a script, he can't be the real person anymore. Nah. That's too many wrongs in that sentence. Andy, I agree. These killers should be indeed be called terrorists. However, no terrorist was easily won. More so with their international networking. American might with Afghan soldiers could not for 19 years defeat the Taliban. America opted to negotiate with the Taliban, yet the Taliban are still killing. Let's appreciate the nature of the war. Painful though that innocent souls are being killed. Kanu from Patakati send that in. Good morning, Annie. The call by Madam Ezekwesili's due process for PMB's medical evaluation is nothing more than an expression of hard-earned frustration. How well did she do with her due process mantra? If she and her principal back then failed in that regard, of course they did. Did anyone call her for mental examination? No is the answer. Friday Olive from Joba sent that in. Val says, may God bless Andy Apotive. He is the man. The rest of us are what, women? Thanks. Annie of a truth, you are no longer a good presenter anymore because you only want your voice to be heard. You can't even balance this little program. Giving your callers time to call is a problem. Most especially, you always find it difficult to pick my calls. Mr. Sam is sad with you. Mr. Sam, and you had the opportunity to say what you needed with this text message, but you're upset that I'm no more a good presenter. I apologize. I'll probably go for retraining. I'll come back better. Good morning, Annie. Wale from Rumunduru. Honestly, I've learned a lot from all your guests in the house. Kudos to you, Annie, the manner you've been moderated. Aha! Somebody likes it. I hope any agent of the presidency is listening so they can convey this useful discussion to the president. God bless our leaders' mindset. Greetings, Annie and the crew. Annie, please, who did this evil to Nigeria as a country, but we cannot grow? In fact, the current event in the country is really a pity that we don't have leaders that think at all. I so empathize with those that lost their loved ones. May Lord accept their soul. This is from Kelvin. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Mr. John from Port Harcourt.
Mr. John from Port Harcourt. Good to have you. Go ahead.
I want to align my voice to the first caller, the very first caller of this show. You see, I don't know why, at least we Africans, the African nation, we watch Nigeria, to be wallowing in this, disaster of insecurity. I remember most times when we have issues in other African countries, I know how Nigerian soldiers mobilize through ECOMOG and all the rest of peacekeeping in order to bring peace in those African nations. How is it that now that we, Nigeria, belonging to United African Union, ECOWAS, and all that, and all these our neighbors are standing by aloof, watching Nigeria that used to help them in times of trouble. They watch us to suffer. And our people, we are very happy, even those in your studio, that these things are happening. It is very unfortunate. I'm not too happy with what is going on. And for the people that are saying, oh, Buhari should resign. Well, Buhari will resign, but on May 29, 2023. So they should take heart. All hands must be on deck.
But do you expect more from his presidency? Yes. Do you expect more from him as the president?
The presidency is doing all that they can, and we still do more. Because as it stands today, the crisis is overwhelming. It's not just Borno State. So we should appreciate the nature of the crisis we are facing. And people should encourage our military not to demoralize them through talking them down. Look at what is happening in Nigerian police today. You can't call any police to come and help you, even if they are robbing.
Well, the ones I've been meeting have been extremely nice. I don't know.
We have demoralize our police, and all of us are suffering for it. People are going house to house, street to rob. That is what our mouths have caused. And the military, you have started it with the military, and what betray you people end up demoralizing our military. That means we are finished.
But the military themselves have said several times that they're not properly they said they're not properly compensated. And we've heard it several times. I mean, I don't think that they need other people to even demoralize them. They feel demoralized already. And I think part of the conversation is not to demoralize the military, but to take into consideration the uniqueness and peculiarity of what they're going through and to draw the attention of government to these things. We've talked about the fact that manpower is a problem. We've talked about equipment. And you've also mentioned the fact that when you think of the pay itself, how much of that really gets to the foot soldiers, the ones who have to go through the trenches and fight Boko Haram. And if that is not all in place, you wouldn't have, how do I say, elated soldiers. I truly would want to say, I've seen posts about some soldiers who will say, look, we'll drive Boko Haram out. I've seen there some of those posts on social media, and my heart just goes out to them because regardless what, they're still defending the nation. They're still, with all the shortcomings, they're still out there doing what they need to. But it doesn't mean that we would not recognize what needs to be done to ensure that they can do that job properly. They signed up for it. They signed up to be soldiers. And if as a soldier they're unable to do the job and people are dying, we must also draw the attention of the CNC, who is the president. He's got to get his men reined in so they do better. I don't see how that's demoralizing the soldiers. Of course, the people who are asking for mercenaries are not anybody in this studio. It started with Zulum, who is at the middle of it all. Good morning to you all in the studio. I want to join Andy Apotive and at the same time correct him that our leaders have brains, but the brains are not just working extremely well. Maybe they refuse to exercise their brains by reading frequently, or they have loose glucose and iodine that helps the brain function properly in terms of intelligence. To me, our leaders are just wicked. All right, this is from Dave. Dave, so is it wickedness or they don't have glucose? Which one? You've got to take a side, really. Buhari, how many times did I call you? Now, please listen to your kinsman and resign. Thus, as you advise Gage to resign. The health status of Buhari is a concern to us all. How do we get this sorted out before we all are consumed by this incompetence? Bassi, you send that in from NTA Road. Good morning, Annie. Honorable Indukwe and guests. President Buhari is on top of what is happening and fully in charge. He has dominated NNPC with Northerners, particularly Fulanis, the same in customs, EFCC, judiciary, and on you went. You said when Turkey supplied illegal arms to Boko Haram, what did President Buhari do? Saudi Arabia are in the same scheme. On the presidency, they will never allow medical board on President Buhari to avoid being exposed. All right, we got your thoughts on that, okay? And we've got to go. This is where we wrap up on the show. Dr. Obitima.
Well, just a short one.
Please make it short.
The President Buhari issued to the court to resign. Alternatively, let the National Assembly start impeachment process on him.
All right, then. Dr. Obitima, JP, journalist and international affairs analyst. We got your thoughts on the issues for today.
Well, we're in very desperate times, and I just think that every other person should see it in that light. Zulum, in the midst of it, he feels the heat, and each time that man speaks, you could see somebody who actually is uncomfortable. It doesn't appear to be the same with the presidency, and that's or with the president, and that's quite worrisome. So let all of us really empathize with the situation that we have at hand, and then put up our very best. If it means getting mercenaries to stop this carnage, please, let's do it.
All right, that got your thoughts on that. I was reading somewhere on the police constables here, whether they're supposed to bring cutlasses and white socks and lanterns for training. I hope that's just a joke. I truly hope that's a joke. And that the training is not about white stockings and lanterns and cutlasses. I hope it's not what I think I read somewhere. But if it is, then really this issue of insecurity as we have it is a case. I'll leave it as that. Emmanuel.
Well, for me, I think calling for resignation of the president should not be the issue. Rather, let the president listen to Nigerians to reject the security architecture. I believe if that is done, there will be new zest brought to bear on this particular war, as they will at least minimize it.
And that's where we wrap up on the show. Thank you very much. Entertainment Express comes up next. I'll see you again tomorrow. Stay on the dial.
95.1 FM.